Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Kelsey's in a wildcat position. They're going to give it off to Worthy on the right side. Worthy sneaks into the end zone. Touchdown! Kansas City on an RPO handoff from Travis Kelce.
Chiefs Radio, that one was creative. Welcome to the show, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. Man, haven't we watched that Chiefs game 100 times? I mean, maybe not that specific play, but this is how they're winning games now, Pearl. They can put some pressure on you offensively, but when they get into the red zone, they kind of stall. They'll kick field goals. They'll capitalize on mistakes, of which the Saints made many of them last night. They capitalize on the mistakes, and the defense is suffocating. And this is the Chiefs. This. I feel like I've watched this game 100 times, but the question is, are they, A, the best football team in the NFL through 5 weeks? And 2, is there any team in the NFL who can exploit any of the weaknesses of the Chiefs?
Well, yeah, they are now the best team because they're 5-0. The other 5-0 team, Minnesota Vikings, is wobbly, to be honest. I feel like the Vikings are dying to lose a game. And here's the thing about the Chiefs. They don't even care about the regular season. The regular season is just a prelude to what's coming. They're working out things on the fly. I do not see any vulnerability yet. I mean, I think that they play close games. There's going to be close playoff games, just like last year. Right. They had, the Ravens game was really close in the AFC title game. It ended up being 17-10. The Ravens fumbled at the goal line. They had 2 big mistakes that probably cost them at least tying the game. And then they went to overtime in the Super Bowl. So the Chiefs are going to win these narrow games. So what makes them great, I think, Maggie, is their ability to win these close games. Yeah. It's now getting to be kind of unprecedented. If it's a close game and you got Patrick Mahomes on the other side, you're probably going to lose.
Yeah, it feels that way, the inevitability of the Chiefs, and not to crown them after 5 weeks, which was, I mean, a little much. I love Joe Buck and Troy Aikman. I think they're one of the best broadcast teams we have, but enough with the Chiefs. Like, we get it. It's special. It's great. It's a special place.
What are you talking about? They're two-time defending champs.
No, it's not about the football. I'm saying it's like, I get it. Kansas City is one of the toughest places to play. I understand. It's the stadium is very cool. You and I have gone to Kansas City. They were great hosts as a city. Everybody was phenomenal to us. But come on. I mean,
what are you talking? There aren't enough flowers to possibly give this franchise. They're on the verge of possibly being the first Super Bowl team to three-peat. How can you insert any negativity? I think that Joe Buck and Troy Aikman are perfectly appropriate to give them all the flowers on earth.
They can, but I see a lot of people criticize Chris Collinsworth when he does the same thing. So let's keep the same energy when everyone's fawning over, when Collinsworth is fawning over Mahomes and everyone's having the inappropriate memes of things that are blatantly sexual.
Oh, come on.
Let's keep the same energy.
You can tell the difference between Collinsworth and Aikman. Mahomes could throw 3 interceptions in a row, and Collinsworth will find a way to say, did you see the way he spun that? I mean, Collinsworth's ridiculous on Mahomes.
I think it's all the same. But anyway, I would say the only thing that you could possibly try to exploit from the Chiefs, and this is really the only knock you can have, I think, on them so far, is that when they get to the red zone, it kind of stalls. And, you could say, well, Maggie, they lost their starting running back and their best receiver. And that's right, they did. Isaiah Pacheco and then also Rashee Rice. But then you see Juju Smith-Schuster step up last night for 7 receptions, 130 yards. Kareem Hunt looks rejuvenated. And obviously they always have Kelce, but Kelce really just hasn't been the red zone threat that we're used to him being. So that's, I guess, the one place. But I'm looking all around the NFL and how many teams could use Devontae Adams and how many teams need another weapon. And I don't know if I see another team in the AFC that can exploit it. We saw what the Ravens did. They were a big toe away. But do you trust the Ravens in the postseason? No, can't say that yet. The Bills obviously do not have enough weapons. The Cincinnati's got a whole other thing going on. If you look at just the numbers with Cincinnati, it's going to take a minor miracle for them just to make the postseason if history is any guide. So I just don't know who the AFC team is. The Texans, I guess? I don't know who the AFC team is, Pearl, that's actually going to maybe put a scare into Kansas City this year.
Well, put a scare in. Now, listen, the by definition, you saw it last night. Last night was a Chiefs blowout, right? What was the score? 26-13. Like they do not have explosive plays, so they are going to play close games. Yes, they're a strong favorite. They're actually a pretty heavy favorite to win the Super Bowl at the books right now.
I believe
so, and that's probably the most accurate thing we have. Yes, but the style of game it's going to be like last year's playoffs and the year before playoffs. I think it's going to be tight. So I don't think you're panicking if you're the rest of the AFC teams. If you're Baltimore, you can look at this and say, you know what? If we get them in the playoffs, we're going to be in the game. We just have to find a way to make the plays at the end. You know, one thing you said about the weapons going down, that's Andy Reid. Yeah. That is pure Andy Reid. Like Kareem Hunt that is a different player than in Cleveland. Juju Smith-Schuster, different player than, Kareem Hunt was in Cleveland. Juju Smith-Schuster in New England. Like, this is scheme. They are scheming up guys. Now, I guess the one concern for me is they really cannot score fast. I think that you're going to need a Patrick Mahomes scramble at the end of every game, which is, I don't know how he does it because he's slower than me, and somehow he gets 14 yards when they need it. You're going to need a conversion on a 3rd and 24. They love doing this. They're totally comfortable in these bizarre situations that no other team can convert in.
Well, it's just, and they're smart, right? Like, even when they don't play perfect football, nobody does, but they're smart in the sense where it feels like and I'm not saying this is like they're getting calls from the ref. I'm not saying that. They have an ability to draw those penalties, those big defensive pass interference penalties. It's not because the refs are on their side or in their pocket. It's not because of Taylor Swift. It's because they are smart about picking on defenders who I think they believe are vulnerable. They did that again last night. They end up getting a 40-yard penalty that sets them up right in the red zone. Like, they're just smart about that kind of stuff. Meanwhile, Derek Carr on the other side. So Carr gets knocked out of the game at the end because the Saints are trying to come back in an effort that was never going to work. Chiefs send an all-out blitz. No one picks it up. Carr's on his back immediately while just heaving the ball up, and actually he gave his wide receiver a chance. It goes right through his hands. Yeah. I mean, like a blooper reel goes through his hands.
I would say that.
Carr
that was Mason Tipton, an undrafted guy, to have a Willie Mays style. It wasn't like an easy catch.
No, it wasn't easy, but it did go through his hands. I don't know how else you'd describe it.
Well, you said like a blooper reel. Like that would have been like a highlight catch if he had made it. He had to turn in midair and find the ball. It was not an ideal play by the Saints. It was a great throw by Carr. But I totally agree that game was not in contention because the big play, Juju Smith-Schuster's 50-whatever yard play, that's because Honey Badger slipped on that terrible turf last night. Mahomes was slipping left and right. So even last night felt like it was going to be a one-score game until that there was nothing characteristic about the big play. It was just pure luck because the defender fell. So they just hung around. But that being said, I still think they're unbeatable. I still think your Bills don't have a chance to come in the playoffs. They'll lose by a field goal. This late game stuff that the Chiefs are doing now is unprecedented. I can't remember a team that I trust more in a close game than the Chiefs right now. Brady, yeah, I guess that's a good one. Yeah, but Brady lost some big Super Bowls.
Yeah, they were always close, but Brady ended the game. Brady with a 10-point lead in the fourth quarter. Like, they're not giving it up.
Well, listen, they lost a close game to the Broncos in 2015. They lost close games to the Giants in the Super Bowl.
But that's getting all the way to the Super Bowl. I mean,
yeah. But I feel like the Chiefs are not going to lose that Super Bowl game because Mahomes will scramble and get all the first downs.
Well, I mean, we've watched it. 855-212-4227. Through 5 weeks, is there a better team in the NFL than the Chiefs? Obviously, the Vikings are 5-0, but you can't put them on the same level. The defense is awesome, but you can't put them on the same level. And you got some, a little bit of a pixie dust wearing off on the Saints here. And I know we've got some fans in New Orleans. I know we've got some Saints fans. You go from 2-0 to 2-3. Derek Carr gets knocked out of the game. And now you got a big game coming up next week against Tampa Bay. I guess the only thing that's really going to matter is your division games and try to hold tight there. But that was just a tough game to watch. It was. I know that at time that it was a one-score game. I get they got it down to a one-score game. Guy misses the extra point. Just the type of mistakes that you can't make when you're playing the Chiefs. Chris Olave, you got to pause for a second on the line of scrimmage. You can't get flagged for a call like that. For these silly penalties that were just killing them. And the other part, too, is that I think the game plan for the Saints which at times felt like heave the ball up and try to get pass interference, well, then your receivers have to sell pass interference a little bit too.
I mean, who are these receivers?
Well, whatever.
I mean, first of all, you didn't even throw the ball to Olave all night long, which is bizarre. They're just banged up. Look at their front line. During the game, they were saying they were going to the second and third string all over the place, and their first string line is not great either. So you add that. I mean, there's just no way. There's no time. You can't do all these things if you don't have any protection. And Carr did not have a second of time.
855-212-4227. So it felt like we were watching, I don't know. The Chiefs have that boogeyman status. They do, Pearl.
Yeah, I mean,
the inevitability of it.
Beating the Saints at home, a beat-up Saints team, is certainly not exactly the prove-it game for the Chiefs. A couple things I like, though. Kelsey is back. I mean, yep. I know he hasn't scored any touchdowns, but he looks spry. I feel like he's kind of put to rest any rumors that he was washed. In my mind. I mean, I don't know if other people think he's not the same player, but he's not scoring touchdowns. He's still a pretty good weapon, and they're spreading it out even more. Like there's just more guys who are getting into the action. It's just like keep on finding new weapons to insert. And almost like they don't need Devontae Adams.
No, and I don't think the Raiders were doing that anyway.
They'll invent somebody. Yeah, they'll just find some other dude. As long as you have Mahomes and Reed, you're totally fine. And so to answer your question, yeah, I'm trying to even think who's the challenge. I think the better question is who's the one challenger that makes you even nervous. I think I have an answer.
Well, I think I have an answer too.
Want to say it on three?
Sure.
One, two. Wait. We say it on three or after three?
1, 2, 3, shoot, like rock, paper, scissors.
I don't know. Manny's on the other side of the glass. Why don't you say 1, 2, 3, and then we'll both say the team.
I'll do it. How about on go? Ready?
Yeah.
1.
Wait.
Two,
On go. Oh, then you're going to say go.
On go.
Okay. Go ahead.
1, 2, 3, go.
Ravens. But you didn't say anything.
Because he got me confused. Because he said, "Are you going to say on go or just go?"
On go. 1, 2, 3.
Ravens.
Go.
I said Ravens. I said Ravens first.
Well, I was
Maybe
saying,
had to do with Dak Prescott. Here we go.
I was thinking Ravens. I was going to try and jinx you too on national radio.
Like owe me a
touch
Coke.
red, touch blue. How did you guys do it as a kid? We had to say the full name of the person for them to be able to speak again. Is that how?
I think it was Jinx owe me a Coke, and I feel like there was a punch involved.
Touch red, touch blue, punch me, punch you.
Yeah.
There was that. Or I could just say your full name.
I have an older brother, so everything ended with a punch.
Yeah.
Just something right to the shoulder. Boom. That was just growing up,
right.
You know?
Your full name is Margaret Elizabeth Gray.
Thank you. I'm going to have to talk. Names on the show.
No. Jinx rules apply to radio. I totally disagree.
Oh, meanwhile, speaking of rules, so EJ's in the home studio today, his home studio, Queens, New York, not feeling great. So going to be on Zoom today if you're watching the show on youtube.com/InfinitySportsNet. Manny's here with us, hanging out. We got Bogusch, of course. Kaplan's in the back. Do you still have to buy breakfast for EJ off the Prairie View A&M bet, even though he's home?
Okay.
Or does EJ get 2 breakfasts when he gets back?
I have to admit, I did lose the bet, but I thought the breakfast came in a little pricey yesterday.
This was off of Kaderl Hodge. Perloff said, I'll buy breakfast so anyone knows where he went to college. And all of a sudden, EJ just opens his mic and goes, Prairie View A&M.
Yeah.
Like he had it ready to go the whole morning.
Unbelievable. But can I just share the details of what he ordered?
Yeah, sure.
You got an egg and cheese sandwich and an OJ, and it cost $22.50.
Oh, my God.
What is wrong with this city?
Yeah, look, it's not my fault, okay? It's the city. I didn't do anything wrong. I showed you the receipt. I was like, here it is.
What was the delivery fee?
The delivery fee, there was 2. So it was like one that was $3.99 and one that was, I think, $2. It was like a service fee and a delivery fee.
Wait, did you get a croissant? Like how?
No, I got a bagel, a bacon, egg, and cheese or sausage, egg, and cheese on a bagel. That was $6.99. And then like a fresh squeezed orange was $6.
Oh, that's what it was. It was the fresh squeeze orange juice.
Fresh squeeze orange juice? What are we, a Habsburg? What is going on? I don't understand. Fresh squeeze orange juice? So when I was growing up, fresh squeeze orange juice was like a once-a-year thing.
A Tropicana.
Fresh squeeze orange juice. I mean, that is...
I can't believe it costs as much as a sandwich.
You're buying breakfast, Pearl. What do you mean?
I mean, fresh squeeze orange juice. What did you going to get a mimosa today? What is going on? Fresh squeeze orange juice is not a normal order.
That's hilarious. That's what did it. The orange juice. I was going to say bacon, egg, and cheese and an orange juice. I mean, that's even in this city. That's $9.99.
Okay, you're back in the studio tomorrow, I assume. Yeah. I will go down to the local deli and I will get you an egg and cheese and an orange juice on my own. And I will walk out of there for $7.
That's going to be Tropicana.
There's
pulp,
no way.
Pulp.
There's
What's
no
wrong
way
with Tropicana orange juice? An egg and
There's no chance.
We were wondering,
in New York City?
How did this get to be $22? That felt like a lot for one person for breakfast. Usually when we do breakfast, it's like between 50 and 60 for everybody.
Right. So so multiply that by 4. That comes out to about the same.
Oh no, more math.
Multiply 22 by 4 is 88. Not exactly. Hey, you won the bet. It's fine. Maybe tomorrow you will get,
surf and turf.
Get lox flown in from Alaska. I don't even know what's a fancy breakfast food. Maybe you'll get your own omelet bar here. Because if you're getting fresh squeezed orange juice, then I don't even know what to tell you.
Perloff said, "What are you, Habsburg?"
The regular orange juice was $3, so it would have been. So I don't feel like I would have taken off that much off the bill.
That's true.
I think the fees are what really killed you.
Definitely. It's like Ticketmaster. 855-212-4227 is $22 too much for one person for breakfast.
Okay. If somebody in the office goes, hey, can I grab you breakfast? Can I grab you something downstairs? You might say, grab me a soda or something. You don't say, oh, yeah, can you grab me a fresh squeezed orange juice? I mean, that would be a little out of line.
And you're buying it all week. 855-212-4227. Who is the biggest threat to the Chiefs, if anyone? And is the pixie dust off these Saints here? They've lost 3 in a row. Lots to do. Maggie and Perloff, we've got the one feud I did not see coming in sports. Even for division rivals, this one was odd. And so much more. It's Maggie and Perloff.
The Chiefs are at it again, down by some shit. Clock's ticking down, fans losing their wit. Mahomes in the huddle, grinning like a badass, ready to pull off another win, kicking ass. Another fucking close game, the Chiefs pull it out. Defense hanging on by the skin of their snout. But Mahomes and Kelsey dropping jaws on the grass, always fucking coming through, busting ass. The Chico runs wild like he's pissed at the ground. Chris Jones wrecks shit, throwing QBs around, but then they fall behind. Fans yelling, oh hell, just another Chiefs game, crazy as shit, can't you tell? Can't you tell? But away was Peter Better, nowhere in sight. Missing work again like it's his goddamn right. Chiefs out here grinding, busting their balls, while the Lottie chilling, doesn't work calls. Another fucking close game, the Chiefs find a way, and Peter Belotti's at home out for the day. Mahomes slings a pass, doing his job right, while Belotti's on his couch, avoiding daylight. Away to the Chiefs, they know shit from no one. Every fucking close call to get the job done. But where's Belotti? That ass didn't show. Chiefs win again and Pete's still a no-go. But Chico runs wild like he's pissed at the ground. Chris Jones wrecks shit, throwing QBs around, but then they fall behind. Fans yelling, oh hell, just another Chiefs game, crazy as shit, can't you tell? Wait, where's Peter Bell like he's pissed at the ground? Chris Jones wrecks shit, throwing QBs around, but then they fall behind. Fans yelling, oh hell, just another Chiefs game, crazy as shit, can't you tell? But Chico runs wild like he's pissed at the ground. Chris Jones wrecks shit, throwing QBs around, but then they fall behind. Fans yelling, oh hell, just another Chiefs game, crazy as shit, can't you tell? Can't you tell? But wait, where's Peter Belotti? Nowhere in sight, missing work again like it's his goddamn right. Chiefs out here grinding, busting their balls, while Belotti's chilling, dodging work calls. But what a fucking close game, the Chiefs find a way, and Peter Belotti's at home, out for the day. Mahomes spins a pass, doing his job right, while Belotti's on his couch, avoiding daylight. How do they do it? No one knows the deal. Reed's got that playbook with the magic ass steel. Every game's a nail biter, down to the last breath. The Chiefs pull off wins while Pete's faking his death. Can't you tell? So here's to the Chiefs, taking no shit from no one. Every fucking close call, they get the job done. But where's the light? That ass didn't show. Chiefs win again, and Pete's still a no-go. Chiefs win again, and Pete's still a no-go. Chiefs win again, and Pete's still a no-go.
One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
In motion. There's a shotgun snap, the fake handoff, the quick throw at the goal line is deflected and it's intercepted on the play by Saunders. He runs the big man, the 10, near sideline 20, on the near sideline 30, got a blocking from behind. The former Chief is taken down. The Saints big man got it on the ricochet at the goal line on a pass intended for Smith-Schuster. That was a thick pick. That was a thick pick.
Kevin Harlan, a thick pick indeed. That was Colin Saunders with the big man interception for the Saints. One of the highlights of the game last night for New Orleans for sure. And then runs it out of the end zone, which was, that's always dicey. But he's got the ball high and tight. Aikman was obsessed with how good of a running, form that he had. It looked like a former running back. But did you guys know who Colin Saunders' brother is? Bogish is here.
Barry Saunders?
I didn't know until last night, but now I know.
This guy, Colin Saunders, his brother's name is Cameron. Of all the people he's connected to, how about this? He's one of Taylor Swift's backup dancers.
What?
Yeah. And by the way, he looks like he could play defensive line in the NFL. Big dude, but he's got this sort of cult following because he doesn't have a stereotypical, air quotes, dancer body, if you will. But he's, world renowned. He's got a day in his honor in the state of Missouri. He's done all this. He's toured with everybody. He's been in movies. He's this super accomplished dancer. And you may have seen him. He's performed all these award shows. He's kind of hard to miss.
Yeah.
And he's got some crazy good feet.
And on the flip side, I think his brother could dance too because he looked super nimble coming out of that end zone. And he's a big dude.
I know. Perloff showing me pictures of him
Schefter
doing
tweeted out last night
backflips.
that right before his Senior Bowl, he did a string of JPP-style backflips at 320. Now, J.C. Pierre-Paul, who did that, was 250. This guy's 320 and do full standing backflips. So where was he drafted? Like, shouldn't he be like the number 1 overall pick with this level of athleticism?
I mean, good hands, good feet, and obviously runs in the family. And Taylor was in the building last night, so anyone who was worried about,
Thank God, he was a 3rd-round pick.
I say anyone who was worried. I'm really just pointing at Perloff.
Anybody who was worried he was heartbroken?
Well, you're the one, Maggie, who pointed out there was a script that said they broke up last week. So I think that they are going off script by still being dating. Although Travis still looks somewhat off. I think it's the hair.
It's the mustache.
He was sweating up a storm and looked totally just discombobulated on the sideline last night.
Well, this was a better game for him, though.
Yeah, no, it was pretty good. I still think, I don't know. I like reading body language. He doesn't seem all there to me.
All right.
I mean, I think the play is good, but generally, like, actually, he's on our screen right now. Why is he sweating so much? What is going on?
He's playing football.
Nobody else was sweating that much last night.
I guarantee they're all sweating that much.
No, I saw on the sideline, there was a picture where he is talking to guys, and he looks like he's dying, and they're just like, are you okay, Travis?
Wasn't it? It was hot there last night.
Why is he sweating? I'm worried.
No, look at the other guys. Do you see anyone else on this field who's dripping with sweat other than Travis Kelce? I feel like he's working really hard.
You think Cameron or Caden Saunders wasn't breaking a sweat at midfield last night?
Andy, right? Do you see anybody? We're working at the screen. Show me sweaty guy.
They're all sweaty. They're professional athletes.
Andy Reid, of all people, is not sweating. It wasn't that hot last night.
Take off that windbreaker, Andy Reid. Let's see that undershirt.
Yeah.
I bet he's sweating up a storm.
They're
all sweaty.
You guys know that there was a shot where they were dwelling on it, what kind of viral, where he looked miserable on the sideline last night.
Well, now they're just looking for that stuff.
All right. Well, you guys are apparently experts on who's sweating and who's not sweating.
Yeah, just when the answer is all of them. Chris is in Birmingham, wants to talk about the game last night. Good morning, Chris.
Yeah. Everybody, how you doing? Just another week 3 of a Saints life support offense football. They pretty much just call themselves making a valiant effort to say they can make a comeback in retrospect by second quarter. I know what to expect of them. Shoot the first drive. Derek cost too much of a biatch to actually just take the hit, just you can panic. So there was a bailout pick. So,
well, I don't know, man. I mean, listen, Chris, the Derek Carr experience is not. I don't envy that. From having to watch that, it's so up and down. This is why he's earned the name the Bermuda Triangle, because it's going to be an adventure, but no one's making it out alive. Chris, thank you. And the interception on the first drive was just, I mean, I get it. You're in Kansas City. You feel like you have to put points on the board. You're certainly pressing. That was awful. I hate to say he was just under pressure all night, but he also had untimely penalties. You just cannot do that when you're in Kansas City. You cannot give them an inch. So I get it, though, because now it's a 3rd loss in a row for the New Orleans Saints, who were the darlings of the league after 2 games because their offense looked unstoppable. And then meanwhile, here we go, 13 points. And, you put up 24 last week against the Falcons. You put up 12 against the Eagles. It looks like that Cowboy win was a total anomaly.
Well, no, they had a different O-line then. I think that unless they can get healthy there, they have no chance. But watch out for the end of the season. They'll all get healthy at the same time like last year and destroy the Bucs in one game. Carr always gets hurt. They need to really solidify that line. I'm telling you, they're going to lose a bunch of games now, and then they'll go on a run at the end of the year, just like last year.
Okay, but, until we figure out what's going on with Derek Carr's back oblique, whatever they're going to call it, do you have to put the Devontae Adams stuff on hold if you're not sure how much longer Carr's going to play? There's
no Devontae Adams because of the O-line, not because of Carr. I mean, you can't get him the ball. I remember they came in with the worst O-line, drafted, is it Fuanga? I can't remember which guy where. There's no reason to do that. I don't think they were going to do it in the first place because of cap reasons, but there's no way. Take him off the list. I mean, they didn't even throw to Olave, who's a superstar last night, and he got, how many targets did he get? He had 1 through the 3rd quarter. I think he ended up with 4, but there's no reason at 2 and 3 to go. I'd be shocked.
Who was on him last night? McDuffie, right? Was on Olave?
Yeah, I mean, he just did not get targets.
Andrew Bogish is here with headlines. What's up, Bogues?
I like a tight ass. Hey guys, headlines are sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your home and auto. Save when you bundle. Get a quote at progressive.com. Now, about a week ago, our friend Manny left me a note on my computer asking me to hit play on a video of the Mets losing. This is my response.
Here's the pitch. Saleh drills it high in the air, deep left field. No doubt about it. It's a home run. Bam lines it into right center field. That splits the gap of base hit. Gurriel rounds third. He comes in to score standing. Line through the left side. A base hit into left field. Pham sprints around third. Verdugo's thrown to the plate. Offline, not in time. Pham scores standing. First pitch to Michael Garcia. Fastball sliced through the right side. Base hit into right field. Hampson rounds third. Soto's thrown to the plate. Cut off. Hampson safe.
And the pitch hit on the ground is short. Witt fields, throws to first in time. Ball game over. Kansas City wins.
I think that's everything.
That's
they
the
win.
whole game.
This is why you guys don't deserve anything. This is why you guys don't deserve any happiness.
2 at Yankee Stadium.
Wait, hold on. Manny left a note on your computer last week that just said push play like some kind of bizarro scavenger hunt.
I think it said, "My dear Andrew, have a great day. Press play.
Dear
Love
Journey,
Manny."
press play. Your favorite Yankee fan.
Yeah.
So you knew what was coming.
Yeah. The Royals winning last night 4-2 at Yankee
really?
Stadium. This ALDS is tied at 1. Heading to Kansas City, Royals manager Matty Q asked if a split's good.
Yeah, we certainly our goal was to win them both, but to get out of here after losing the first one with a win today is huge.
Last October, we couldn't say Torey Lovello. Matt Quattraro. I got nothing on this poor man. I'm sorry. I just can't say it.
You say names for a living. We see you.
I
We
know.
watch you go through a whole tennis circuit, hockey. You do all the tough ones.
My brain, my mouth do not handle this one well. I don't know what it is.
Come on, Fordham.
And I don't think anyone on TV knows how to do it either because every broadcast is a different pronunciation. Somebody said Quattraro the other day. I'm pretty sure that's not it.
Well, don't listen to John.
The Tigers got their split in Cleveland at the last possible moment. Kerry Carpenter breaking a scoreless tie top 9 with a 3-run homer. The first homer that Guardians closer Emmanuel Clase allowed since August 30th. The Chiefs played a game with Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, and Kareem Hunt for the first time in 6 years last night. Mahomes throwing for 331, Kelce sweating through 7 catches, and Hunt ran for 102 and a score in this 26-13 decision over the Saints at Arrowhead. Hunt, one of many injury replacements, chipping in for KC. The QB appreciated their efforts.
It was cool to get those guys going and then to step up. And it's going to be like that until we start getting some of these guys back. It's going to be everybody's going to have to step up and make plays.
Not only did the Saints fall to 2-3 with their 3rd consecutive loss, but Derek Carr is headed for an MRI for an oblique injury suffered on that 4th quarter hit. As expected, we've got some more details this morning on Jabril Peppers' arrest, which broke during yesterday's show. The Patriots safety is accused of physically assaulting his girlfriend during an argument at his home. The police report says the woman was choked and pushed to the ground, among other things. Peppers pleaded not guilty to all charges yesterday morning, with his lawyer saying they have video that will clear him. In regular football news, Raiders head coach Antonio Pierce said yesterday they are still evaluating the QB position after pulling Gardner Minshew during Sunday's loss to the Broncos. Texas expects Quinn Ewers to start Saturday against Oklahoma. He's missed 2 full games and part of another with an oblique injury. And the Orlando Magic signing center Wendell Carter to a 3-year, $59 million extension. He's now due $82 million through the 28-29 season. Guys, back to you.
Quattraro.
Sure. Quattraro.
Quattraro is what I see on Baseball Reference.
Yeah, Maggie, were you saying that with any research behind it or just...
I'm looking at the pronunciation. Quattraro. Quattraro.
You don't think that's a tra? That's a hard tra?
I feel like we're at the spelling bee. Can you use it in a sentence?
The language of origin, please.
Matt Quattraro beat the Yankees last night.
So I'm just going to go with Matty Q.
That's fine.
And hopefully we have to say that name for weeks to come.
I mean, Baseball Reference does have his nickname listed as just Q, so I guess he just goes by Q.
Oh, even better.
Look at that. Baseball Reference never wrong.
Well, they're going to Kansas City, City of Champions.
Good luck to Q and his team.
Yeah. Did you see the guys' video of the Royals playing catch in Central Park on the off day? Just trying to get their arms warm? That was pretty cool.
Was Yankee Stadium not available?
I don't know, but no one recognized them.
Citi Field?
No. baseball on the mind. Tony is in Boise. Tony, good morning, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
We're good.
All right, cool. The Philadelphia game.
Yes.
Does that hit home anywhere?
On this show?
Yeah.
No Phillies fans here.
No, I didn't think so.
Wait, Tony, are you a Phillies fan?
Yes, I am. I'm a transplant. I moved here. I grew up over by Philly.
Do people in Boise dislike you because you're from Philadelphia and you're an obnoxious Philly sports fan?
They do. They have no idea what Philly's like. It's terrible. The Eagles, the Flyers, everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah, terrible.
But I worked for the football team for about 4 years before COVID hit.
Mm-hmm.
And I became a Boise fan.
Well, of course.
But on the Philadelphia side, what a great game.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you.
Yeah, that was for
Tony
you.
just called in to gloat. All right,
I appreciate
Tony,
it, buddy.
You're lucky we love everyone in Boise so much.
You remember my Genty debacle last night, right?
No, we love Genty.
Yeah, you got. Well, no, I had a debacle. I didn't know how many touchdowns he had. Was it 3?
Call yourself a fan, Tony. Was it 5?
Yeah, we never know with this guy.
Oh, Tony. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought you were done. Listen, Tony, a Philadelphia transplant in Boise.
That's pretty smart, though, because you pick up a great college football program in addition to good pro teams. Because Philly has Penn State, I keep trying to claim, but there's no direct college football team. So
what's up, Temple?
Temple football, Matt Rule. Matt Rule, things are looking
Todd
up.
Bowles?
We claim Matt Rule, and we kind of claim Todd Bowles. But I think that's a pretty cool combo. Having the Phillies, the Eagles, and Boise State, that's awesome.
Did he ask us if we heard his debacle last night? If he was on his own show when we were listening?
Maybe he was on with Amy. I was wondering about that.
Oh, okay.
Well, we don't want to say anything with a gaffe that big. We don't like to point it out. I'm just kidding.
Are you just mad because he said something nice about the Phillies and not the Mets?
But I almost look confused by that, too, because it almost sounded like he was trying to taunt you off of Philly's win.
No, I think he was trying to taunt you guys.
Was he?
I think there was a lot going on in that call. There's Phil.
Oh, if that was a pro Mets call, you guys would have been creating a statue for that guy.
Tony. Phil, how are you, sir?
I'm wonderful. Sunday night, I made the full drive from Pennsylvania down to Texas, 21 hours. Now, Perloff,
get out of here.
All you have to do is put on your big boy tighty whities, loosen up your prostate, get some Old Trapper and Dr. Pepper, and drive down. It's not as bad as you think.
I know. I actually have been obsessed. I've been looking at routes and games. I'm trying to actually, now my new plan, Phil, and maybe you can help me with this, is to drive a little later in November so I can catch some MACtion along the way. Because if you actually look at it, there is a MAC school along every route to Texas. You cannot possibly miss a Tuesday night college football game if you go through the Midwest. So you go through like Ohio, Indiana, all those states. I'm totally going to see. I have a new plan where I'm going to see 4 football games en route to Texas.
That's aggressive.
This is not a pleasure drive. You're supposed to get the drive. It's not going to take an entire month to get there. It took me 21 hours straight through. Just only.
But you're a little further west, right? You're in Erie or somewhere.
No, I'm in Central PA.
Right.
So it's not that far. I mean, if you want to stop for and stop for games and take 5 days to get down there, that's on you. But I would just like to get it over with. But
Phil, what town? What route did you go? Like, did you?
I went 81 down to Knoxville, over 40 to Route 75, and then 59
I meant like
to
cities.
20 west.
Not roads.
I'm sorry. Is there a water cooler we can hook you guys up with so you can talk about this traffic talk?
Did you go through? You said Knoxville. Like what cities? Did you
I
go
went through Knoxville. I went to Tuscaloosa, but there was lots of crying and sadness in those towns. I'm not sure why.
I know you're the bad luck charm for them, Phil.
Yeah.
So
that was after that.
Oh, okay. You're forgiven. So Phil's great friend of the show, lives in Pennsylvania. But Phil, can I ask? Is there an obvious reason why you drove to Texas that I'm just missing, or what was going on?
Yeah, my wife's family lives down here. I take her down here, and she stays with the family for like 6 or 8 weeks, and then I drive down again to pick her up. So I get to have, some time to myself. She gets some time for her family, and I make that trip twice a year, there and back.
Wow. Okay.
What town in Texas?
It's between Houston and Dallas. It's in the middle of, nowhere, East Texas.
Man, I got to be honest. I bet that does wonders for your relationship.
Absence makes the heart grow fonder.
I was just thinking about that. How long have you guys been married?
We've been married 15 years.
Okay. And you've been doing this the whole
We've
time?
been doing this for about 5 years
about
or so.
5 years. Okay. I mean, listen, I don't want my husband to go away for 6 to 8 weeks. I can't even imagine that. It'd be hard.
Maybe Perloff.
My creative husband.
Yeah, stay down there.
My radio husband. It's a lot of driving, though, Phil, for you.
Well, my wife hates flying, and I actually love driving. I do not mind at all. And whenever I do it overnight, no traffic, no problems. And we have great conversation and talk on the way down. There's no distractions. It's just, me and her time.
Wow. So you get quality time, and then she leaves, and then you get quality time when you get back.
Exactly.
Phil, you should write a book, man. Thank you for checking in.
Know.
And, if you have any more hot spots for Perloff, were you inspired by that, Pearl?
Oh, yeah. No, I'm totally into this. I actually want to go through where he is in central Pennsylvania. There's a bunch of Penn State games to go. I'm surprised. I know you guys are generally petty and whatever, but Don't you think I should stop and watch football games? Like, if I'm going to drive through these parts of the country, don't I need to experience it a little bit? I can't just go on a straight shoot.
I'm all for doing whatever you want to do. I know this is supposed to be a punishment, but if you want to make it as cool as you want, I'm for it. You just got to keep doing the show, though.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing. I got to find a place in the morning to do the show, so I have to stop somewhere. So, I don't know. Why not Miami of Ohio, wherever that is?
Ohio. I'm just going to point out that Phil, the headline to me, and I think EJ would agree, is that Phil took the logical direction to Texas. He went south from Pennsylvania.
Right. But
he's going to Chicago and hang a left.
But he's doing basically the same route I'm doing, because he went through Nashville or Knoxville, close enough.
But how is that the route of Miami of Ohio? How are you getting there?
Well, it's a little out of my way. It's not too bad at all.
This is when I have to pull out the map of the United States to figure out 81 to 40.
I know, Phil. I kind of was hoping Phil would give us states, not actual.
Well, I mean, I think we can figure the rest of it out. I mean, he gave us Route 81 to Route 40.
And there was Knoxville in there somewhere.
Phil
and Tuscaloosa, yeah.
Phil was cooking on the highway, by the way.
What did he say, 21 hours?
Yeah, he must have been going 90 the entire time.
And he says he's doing it overnight. No traffic.
Yeah.
Instead of football games, I think you should watch small Division I basketball games instead. Go watch the Horizon League or something.
Oh, say hi to Doug.
Yeah, but isn't that post Thanksgiving?
Well, probably. All right, I got a map of the U.S. here. We're going to take a quick break. I'm going to check. I got a map of the U.S. just with the roads, just all the routes and stuff on it. So I'm going to figure out exactly where you're going, exactly where Phil's going. You should have hooked up with Phil long ago. He's a seasoned vet.
Drive down with Phil and his wife to Texas, East Texas.
Hey, guys. Just in the back. Anyone got any beef jerky?
I like reading body language.
Why are you sweating,
All right,
Phil?
I just saw a picture of Mahomes. Oh, boy. Why is he sweating so much? He looks like he was out to the club. But first of all, I just looked at the temperature. It was definitely not hot last night in Kansas City, and was a mess.
They're playing a football game. They're professionals.
It was 65. Nobody was sweating, and Travis Kelce looked like he just finished a New York City marathon.
Guys were sweating in the freezing cold playoff game in January.
I'm watching all these people on the sideline. They're all wearing short sleeves and shorts. Except for Ryan Clark, who looks like he's in a Broadway show. Cool suit, though. All right, we've got a lot to do now. I'm looking up map of the U.S. We've got to check in with Aaron Rodgers. We got to check in on baseball. Bogish, thank you so much. It's Maggie and Perloff. Don't move.
You're in.
He rolls in, he's got that hungry look, sitting down for breakfast like a king in a nook. Give me that croissant and make it fucking nice, and don't forget that fresh squeezed OJ, it's my vice. He's ordering big, what a fucking sight. $30 on breakfast, man, it's out of sight. Andrew Perloff sweating, can't escape this shit. Off the bed, now he's paying, it's a hell of a fit. 2 eggs on the side and don't skimp on the cheese. fucking glass. Pour it high and mighty, let's make this breakfast last. He's ordering big, what a fucking sight. $30 on breakfast, man, it's out of sight. Andrew Perloff's groaning, this ain't what I'm playing. Stuck with the bill, it's all slipping through his hands. While EJ's chowing down, sipping that OJ Bliss. Perloff's calculating just how much this shit is. Damn, this breakfast is fancy, what the hell did I get into? Next time I'm betting on a plain bagel or two. And where's Peter Bellotti? That fucking dude's late, not showing up for work, man, what's his fate? EJ sipping OJ, living life without pain. Bellotti's at home, probably watching the rain. So here's to EJ, the breakfast king supreme, with that fresh squeezed OJ living out his dream. And to Andrew Perloff with a sigh and a laugh, paying for the shit, it's his breakfast half. On the side and don't skip all the cheese. I want it all fresh, make me weak in the knees. And that fresh squeezed OJ, I want a fucking glass. Pour it high and mighty, let's make this breakfast last. He's ordering big, what a fucking sight. $30 on breakfast, man, it's out of sight. Andrew Perloff's groaning, this ain't what I'm playing. Stuck with the bill, it's all slipping through his hands. While he's just chowing down, sipping that OJ Bliss. OJ Bliss.
2 minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Daily. Do you believe that? Dion. You believe that?
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff. So Dion was on X yesterday praising, I'm assuming they're friends, his friend LeBron James. Here's what he wrote about LeBron and Bronny playing together. I'm coming back to play with my sons, too. This is historical. Give this man his flowers now. This speaks to fatherhood, excellence, and longevity. So that's actually a pretty nice message from Dion. Like, I think a lot of people find the LeBron-Bronny thing totally obnoxious and manufactured. Fatherhood, excellence, and longevity, those are good things. Like, I feel like I admit I've done a 180, and maybe I'm pro LeBron and Bronny playing together. I still, there's a lot of time till this actually happens, but it is starting to seem more like a nice story than something that's obnoxious. Where are you right now on the LeBron-Bronny obnoxious scale?
I'm off the charts.
You will, even this Deion tweet doesn't move you at all?
Well, you and I were talking about would have been possible for Deion to play with one of his kids. Is it going to be possible? I mean, Frank Gore and Frank Gore Jr. almost got pretty close. I think as close as anyone in football will probably ever come, right?
Oh,
I think they missed each other by a couple of years.
There's probably been father-sons who played simultaneously. Has that never happened?
I mean, in football, who plays that long? The sport's so brutal.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to last. No, I think we'd know about that. I think it'd be off the tip of our tongue. But the thing is here about the fatherhood, I get it because a lot of us are parents here and you would do anything to help your child. But I think the obnoxious part about this is not that a father is being, doing everything they can for their son. You're just asking, how much are you helping your child when you're giving them this big of an assist? Right? Professional sports is not like the boardroom. Yes. It's not like business, where you bring the son or daughter along and you can hide them for a little bit. You can do this, do that. It should be based a little bit more on merit. Can you play? Can you not play? Can you develop? Can you not develop? Now, maybe Bronny does develop, and maybe this is just the boost that he needed. But no other kid with this resume is getting drafted by the Lakers in the second round.
That's absolutely true. And all that being said, I don't know. Can we give this guy a pass?
Listen,
LeBron, because he's LeBron. LeBron has done so much for the NBA. Maybe give him this little gift. And I'm an anti-in-season tournament thing. I'm all about the rings. But this one, I mean, LeBron's pretty much done with that part of his career. Why not do this little ceremonial thing?
I mean, that's what they're doing. It's fine if you think this is a feel-good story. It's also a cut-the-line story. It's also, I just thought if it's great for them, great, but I don't want to be sold it so much is the other part. I don't want to be sold about, no, Bronny's really good.
Right.
Like Bronny's, no, like I'm being gaslit here. Like he's not, guys, he's not. Now listen, I'm open to the fact that he could develop into an NBA player. I'm not closing the door on that, and I hope he does. But let's call it what it is, right? He's getting an opportunity that even no other players' sons get. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear what you're saying, but I think if they don't oversell it, then maybe
it's LeBron.
Okay.
And of course they're going to oversell it. There's probably been a camera crew following him for a decade, and I'm sure there's going to be a documentary about this, and I'm sure I'll probably watch it. So, they're overselling me, but will I be a consumer? Maybe. I don't know. LeBron is like, with Jordan, these are the two athletes and two basketball players of my generation. So I'm kind of endlessly fascinated by anything they do.
Sure. I do some research here. Have two NFL father and son been in the league at the same time? According to a bot on Quora.com, Mike Vrabel and his son Tyler Vrabel both played in the NFL during the 2020 season. Now, a little deeper research revealed that Tyler Vrabel entered the league in 2022 out of Boston College, and Mike Vrabel retired in 2010. So I don't know what that is about.
I believe he was the head coach of the Titans at that
Yes,
point.
he'd been out of the league for 12 years by the time his son got there. So that was bad research by this. There's another father-son, Bobby and Brian McCray, were both active in the league at the same time, according to this. Whoever they are in the late 90s. One of them sounds familiar. Anyway, it's probably happened. There's been 105 years of football, Maggie.
Yeah, but not a lot of guys have 20-year careers in football.
Back in the day when Legs McNeil and all those guys.
Lefty. Everyone was called Lefty.
Yeah. When they had back those names with the, what were those teams like the Kenosha packing team or whatever? The Chicago Staleys, all of them. It's a long time. No, I do think that'd be cool in football, though. I think it's cool. I'm sorry. I'm sold. Because everyone knows what's happening here. It's not like we're trying. The illusion that Bronny deserved this is not really around anymore because we've seen him play. We know that this is a special thing for LeBron.
If there was a position in the NFL who could have a father-son, though, is there even any other position besides quarterback who it could be?
Punter?
Kicker.
All right.
Yeah, kicker.
Special
Oh, yeah,
teams.
kicker for
Fine.
sure.
Get me on special teams.
Long snapper.
I don't even think the long snapper. Does Adam Vinatieri have a kid? 855-212-4227. Okay, lots more to do, including what's going on with Aaron Rodgers. Are we witnessing the end?
You're in a 5-minute break.
Sitting down for breakfast like a king in a nook. Give me that croissant and make it fucking nice. And don't forget that fresh squeezed OJ is my vice. He's just ordering big, what a fucking sight. $30 on breakfast, man, it's out of sight. And you really love sweating, can't escape this shit. Lost the bet, now he's paying, it's a hell of a fit. 2 eggs on the side and don't skip on the cheese. I want it all fresh, make me weak in the knees. And that fresh squeezed OJ, I want a fucking glass. Boy, high and mighty, let's make it a fit. EJ's ordering big, what a fucking sight. $30 on breakfast, man, it's out of sight. And you're burning lost short and can't escape this shit. Lost the bet, now he's paying, it's a hell of a fit. 2 eggs on the side and don't skip on the cheese. I want it all fresh, make me weak in the knees. And that fresh squeezed OJ, I want a fucking glass. Pour it high and mighty, let's make this breakfast last. EJ's ordering big, what a fucking sight. $30 on breakfast, man, it's out of sight. Andrew Perloff's groaning, this ain't what I planned. Stuck with the bill, it's all slipping through his hands. EJ's chowing down, sipping that OJ Bliss. Perloff's calculating just how much the shit is. Damn, this breakfast is fancy, what the hell did I get into? Next time I'm betting on a plain bagel or two. That fucking dude's late, not showing up for work, man, what's his fate? EJ sipping OJ, living life without pain. Pilates at home, probably watching the rain. So here's to EJ, the breakfast king supreme. With that fresh squeezed OJ, living out his dream. And to Andrew Perloff with a sigh and a laugh. Paying for that shit, it's his breakfast half.
Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. 30 seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Gosh, we've seen that Chiefs win 100 times, haven't we? Doesn't matter who's in the lineup. Doesn't matter if they have injuries. They capitalize on mistakes. They find a way to win. And that's what they did last night, Perloff. They're 5-0 along with the Minnesota Vikings, and they look as unstoppable as ever. Not because their offense is like this incredible juggernaut, but because the defense is good and because they're balanced and they just have that special something. It's the Mahomes, Andy Reid, and it's the fact that you make a mistake and they don't in the critical moments.
Yeah, I mean, again, I do wonder if this formula of winning all these close games is a little dangerous. Kind of burn the Patriots eventually. Like, you're going to lose a coin flip in the Super Bowl at some point. But to me, the ultimate Chiefs play was 3rd and 22 or something, and they threw a short pass and did a lateral and just got up to 4th and 1. They always do this. Like, Mahomes at 3rd and long is terrifying. 4th and 16 against the Bengals. Of course, he figures out a way to draw a PI. Because of Mahomes mostly, there's just no scenario where they're dead. You just can't get them.
No, and then on the flip side, and they win the game last night, obviously, but on the flip side of this, then you also have, these moments for the Saints. If you're going into Arrowhead and you throw an interception, Chris Olave gets called for illegal formation. Any moment where you just have a slight hiccup, a slight step back, anything, a bad pass interference call on your defensive back, Tyrann Mathieu slips, and all of a sudden Juju Smith-Schuster is off for 50 yards. It's like any moment where you just have one small mess up, the Chiefs are going to take advantage, and there they were. And again, it's not like they play the perfect game, but they play damn near it. And even you had Mahomes throw a pick at the end zone to Smith-Schuster where it gets bobbled, ends up being a pick six, a thick six, if you will, because a big defensive lineman picked it out of the air and then ran it back. But it's always inevitable. It feels inevitable, much like the Patriots did. Now, here's a question for you. So Derek Carr leaves the game last night. They're calling it an oblique, looked like a back injury. It was an all-out blitz that just put him right on his rear end. Here is Derek Carr. Can we hear cut 13, Manny? This is Derek Carr after the game describing how he felt.
Not good, but we'll get an MRI and all that kind of stuff tomorrow and figure it out. But for me not to be out there with my guys, no matter the situation, it takes something. So.
Okay, how did this injury happen?
Wasn't even the hit, honestly. It was just when I dropped back and torqued to throw that ball to tip. That's when I felt it.
Okay, so he's saying it wasn't actually the hit that put him on the ground. He felt something when he's torquing to throw the ball, Pearl. It's just a question now of when can he get back out there, and what does this do to any kind of pursuit of Davante Adams? His friend played at Fresno State together, wanted to play together at the Raiders, played together at the Raiders, but not long enough. Do you still go all out to try to get Davante Adams and save the season?
110% no. First of all, this Saints being linked up with Davante Adams, that was from Adams' camp. You never really heard the Saints say we have the cap space or the wherewithal to do this trade. No, this is a team that needs to rebuild. There's no doubt about it. Don't give up a second round or a third round pick for Davante Adams. There's just for a rental. Their offensive line is a disaster. It's a total mess. They have way too many injuries. They can't even get the ball to their one great receiver, Chris Olave. How are they going to get to Adams? Now I think the Carr injury is the cherry on top. There's just no way they pursue this.
Well, here's the thing, though. This was not that long ago that we're looking at the Saints and we're saying, why couldn't they be right there with the Falcons? Why can't they be right there with the Tampa Bay Bucks? Have the Falcons and the Bucks really distinguished themselves so much that this is not a 3-horse race anymore? Only if Carr is hurt.
Tell me who's playing center for the Saints. Tell me who's playing right guard, who's playing left guard, who's playing either tackle spot, and then we can talk. I honestly think that little Saints run at the beginning, I'm sorry, it's just not happening. They're too injured.
Let's welcome in one of our good friends, and that is Ty Dunne. Of course, he's got his Go Long Substack. The website is golongtd.com. Got a great piece up right now about Aaron Rodgers. We'll talk a little about Sean McDermott and Zach Taylor, boneheaded coaching decisions. Ty, thanks so much for the time today. How are you?
I'm doing great. Maggie, Perloff, good to see you guys. Like this, usually we're on the phone, so I get to see the peanut butter king himself here. It's such an honor.
That's what they call him. Ty, quickly, Davante Adams, though, what are you hearing in terms of, who might actually be interested and whether or not he's going to get moved?
It's fascinating. Somebody is going to make a hard play for Davante Adams, I would think, right? Desperation is going to set in for some of these teams, and they'll try to move mountains with the cap. I mean, I live here in Buffalo, like you've referenced, and I don't know how Brandon Beane would kind of make the money work. They don't have any room. They kind of ate all that Stephon Diggs money this year for a reason that maybe make a play at a receiver next year. And then you watch that game against the Texans and nobody can get open whatsoever. And then you watch the New York Jets and you've got an old 40-year-old quarterback who can't move that is absolutely pining for Davante Adams behind the scenes. I would love to be a fly on the wall as Aaron Rodgers goes into Joe Douglas's office, balls up a fist and demands Davante Adams, right? Maybe you throw Cobb in for the hell of it. I don't know. I mean, somebody's going to, I think, part with some pretty good draft capital. What can he give a team? He's a little older, but I mean, he can still get open if he's motivated. He wasn't motivated with the Raiders. I think Davante Adams absolutely could help a contender somewhere.
When you say that, it feels like the Jets and the Bills, I watch those games too, like they should be giving up draft capital. I think most fans are like, it's obvious to give up a 3rd-round pick if you're the Jets. Like, what's stopping this? I know the money, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe the Bills could make the pitch, hey, we'll give you better draft capital than the Jets, than any of these other teams, if you're willing to pay Davante Adams, right? And we don't have to worry about that part of it. But then you still got to worry about the cap. I don't know. I'm not going to pretend to be a capologist. I think it would be really difficult. The Jets make the most sense. Now, they did absorb that 3-year, $150 million contract. They reworked it with Aaron Rodgers. He's still eating up a very large sum of that cap. It will be really tough for them to do it. But I think if there's a will, there's a way. And I would be honestly surprised if the Jets didn't acquire Davante Adams. I mean, they've let Aaron Rodgers do whatever he wants. I mean, they hired Nate Hackett as their offensive coordinator. Look, Blake Bortles making the AFC Championship game was a long time ago. That's 7 years ago. The NFL has changed a lot since then. He ran the Broncos into the ground. That offense was a disaster.
Would say, yeah, we know Hackett stinks. We know that he's not the cream of the crop offensive coordinator, but Rodgers will make up for it. He'll change the calls at the line of scrimmage, literally. He will overcome his offensive coordinator. Do you still think that's the case? Is he capable of doing that?
I don't think so. Not anymore. He can't move like he used to move. I mean, I covered the Packers for the Milwaukee Journal-Sentinel for, 5 years. You'd sit up there in that press box. It'd be a close game in the top of the third quarter, and you just knew it. If you saw that single high safety, if you saw a defense bringing any pressure at all, that was a death sentence. Aaron Rodgers was going to make that free runner miss. He's going to get outside of the pocket. He's going to find Jordy Nelson, Randall Cobb, Jermichael Finley, Donald Driver, somebody open for a big play, and then the momentum was going to shift, and they're going to blow a team out. Like, Mike McCarthy would send a play in, and Aaron Rodgers would usually do whatever the hell he wanted to, often out of necessity. Like, really, I mean, I think McCarthy's offense was really, really good. Like, early on in that tenure, when they win a Super Bowl, they go 15-1. When it's based on those matchups, and you've got talent all over the board, those one-on-ones are a glorious thing. But at some point, I think Aaron just said, "I gotta do my thing," and it was for the best, right? He's been clearly a Hall of Fame talent. but that only works if you've got those thousands of baked-in reps with a Jordy Nelson, Davante Adams to step up to the line of scrimmage, see the same thing, audible. All right, that's step number one. And then you got to avoid that pressure, create, improvise. Like, he never had a game that was going to age well. Like, he just didn't. Tom Brady did. I mean, Tom Brady's was the same player his whole career, right? He's going to just sit in the pocket, and it's death by a million paper cuts. That's never been Aaron Rodgers. At some point, Father Time is going to win. He gave a really honest interview, I thought, with Kyle Brandt at NFL Network, and I'm expecting it to be chummy and silly and, like, Aaron Rodgers admitted this fight with Father Time is at a stalemate. So Father Time, as we know, wins unrelentingly every single time. It will be a drag-out fight, but Aaron isn't winning this fight. I mean, I think it's done. I don't see – he could get Davante Adams. There'll be a few moments here and there when maybe he wins a game in the last minute and we all lose our minds and we think he's back. The Jets are back, but it's not going to last. They'll go 8-9, 9-8, and – maybe they make 44% of the teams make the playoffs. I don't think it goes anywhere beyond that.
I got to be honest, Ty. You and Rodgers had some back and forth over the years. You had a really great deep dive piece, and that he openly criticized you. Like, where are you guys? Is it possible, if you're a Rodgers enthusiast, and I'm going to say this in a nice way, where someone could say, "Oh, well, we know Ty doesn't like Aaron Rodgers, so therefore I'm not worried."
Hey, people are entitled to their opinions. You're right, Andrew. We used to, I should go back even further. When I was in college at Syracuse, I interned out in Wisconsin for a couple summers when Aaron Rodgers was a backup. And I was pretty close to him. We would BS at his locker frequently, down to earth, not much ego at all. One of the guys, I think a lot of Packer teammates loved him for that. Favre had his separate locker, kind of separate from everybody else. And then I get out there a few years later. I'm on the beat at the Journal-Sentinel. We'd sit down at length in the spring for an hour every year. Unbelievably smart, unbelievably insightful guy. He's going to be honest. I don't know. I think at some point you just have to report on what you know and what you hear. I talk to as many coaches as I can, players as I can, friends and family members as I can. And it kind of started there with the story in 2016, citing 2014 when he just cut out his family completely. I'm like, whoa, given what I know, like, completely unjustified. I've talked to Ian O'Connor, the biographer. He agrees. He doesn't know what in the hell they did to kind of deserve that. That's just a small, not a small thing, but like one example. And then you hear from Greg Jennings, Jermichael Finley, some players. Now, there's a lot of good there. I'm not going to sit here and bash Aaron Rodgers to the high heavens. I mean, he's a Hall of Fame talent. I think he is a good leader in many respects. You'll talk to a lot of players that love the guy, but there's also a lot of BS. There's a lot of wanting to be the assistant GM. There's a lot of stuff that Green Bay put up with, and it's worth it to a point. It's worth it when he's winning MVPs. And I think at the point where maybe it stopped being worth it, it should have been that divisional playoff loss to San Francisco at home when you're the number one seed and he doesn't even show up. But they caved a little more after that. They gave him that contract. They slogged through 2022. He can't move like he once did. He doesn't want to work with the young receivers. And I think after that year and seeing Jourdan Love's development, Brian Gutekunst, Matt LaFleur finally said, enough's enough. We've got to move on. We've got to eat the money. And the Jets, the Jets sold their souls. They gave them whatever they want. At some point, I guess it's Woody Johnson. They'll probably get to the same point, whether it's after this season, whenever. They're going to get there. It's inevitable.
Ty Dunne is joining us. Fantastic Substack. It's called Go Long. He's got a podcast as well. You can go to golongtd.com. The body language from Rodgers on the sideline, not amazing, head and hands, or even on the field, looking at why am I so off target with Garrett Wilson, for example, or even Lazard missing a couple passes and Mike Williams. It's interesting. Ty, you're in Buffalo. You're around the Bills. Sean McDermott sort of owning the end of the game, the debacle of not calling run plays as the Bills are backed up on their own 3-yard line to try to force the Texans to call timeouts. You basically handed a last-second field goal win to Houston. First of all, what's going to be the ripple effects from that? Do you think any? And have the Bills has the outlook that maybe they could make this work without a true number one receiver? Has that now changed in the building?
I don't know if they're at that pivot point quite yet. The trade deadline's a little ways away. I would imagine Brandon Beane is going to be working the phones, though. We know Romeo Doubs is unhappy out there in Green Bay. Who knows? Maybe he's a possibility. He'd fit in pretty well, I think, with this Bills offense. It's funny with that, watching that Texans game, they had no business being in the game. I mean, CJ Stroud and the Texans tried like hell to give him the game.
Yeah.
I mean, it should have been a blowout. If Nico Collins doesn't pull his hamstring, if Terrell Bernard doesn't make this spectacular interception, they were outplayed for most of that game. But that's the NFL. The Texans try like hell to give you the game. I almost have to kind of like tap the brakes a little bit. And we've gotten into it, guys, but I've probably been loudest at the mountaintops just screaming, Sean, you got to maximize Josh Allen while you have Josh Allen in his prime. Let him be himself. Quit talking about sliding, stepping out of bounds, not making this throw, not making that throw. Just let him go. He's the best player this side of Patrick Mahomes. But I suppose there's a line. I suppose the line is the Texans are trying to give you this game. You've got it at your 3-yard line. Just do whatever the hell you can to get to overtime. And I think maybe in some other circumstances, other games, if Josh Allen's having this heater and he's on fire and you've got talent everywhere, maybe you do consider going for it and trying to get in the field goal range at that point. But he's 9 of 30, right? Nobody's had that few completions with that many pass attempts. Your receivers can't get open. It's a slog. I think you've got to understand the moment if you're Sean McDermott and just do what you can to get to overtime. He didn't. What's the ripple effect? I don't know. I mean, this isn't anything new. He has struggled late in games with management. He has struggled with handling Josh Allen. And I think probably the storyline that isn't getting talked about enough here, every time they face one of these elite quarterbacks in the AFC, they get roasted. I mean, yeah, the Texans at the end of the game tried to do it to give it away, but CJ Stroud still threw for almost 400 yards on the heels of Derrick Henry running all over you. It's been a paper tiger defense under Sean McDermott too often, where they kind of feast on bad teams, bad defenses, put up good numbers. You get to Mahomes, you get to CJ Stroud, you get to Joe Burrow, you get to that game that really counts beyond the divisional champ t-shirts, and they struggle. And this was just another example of that.
Ty, we're up against a break real quick. Maggie and I both have the Green Bay Packers coming out of the NFC, our preseason picks. What do you think? What's our confidence? What should our confidence level be?
I think pretty high. I mean, it's a long season. It's a long season, and it hasn't started well. I think that pick 6 we saw to Jourdan Love is something we've all attempted in our backyards with our friends at some point. About as ugly as it gets, Farvian as it gets. But I was talking to a coach in that building over the offseason, and his coach pointed to that Saints home opener last year with Jourdan Love and how everything was going terribly. Like, it could not have gone worse for 3 quarters for him making his first start replacing Aaron Rodgers at Lambeau, and for him to not even blink, flinch, show any emotion, come back in that game, win that game. He's like, that's the moment we knew this quarterback is special. You know, you fast forward through that season. I mean, it couldn't have started any worse. I think they're 2-5, 3-6. He's the best quarterback the final month and a half, 2 months. So for him to bounce back the way he did after that pick 6, I think is a microcosm for this quarterback at this time. And over the long haul, I think that Green Bay is going to be right there with Detroit, with Minnesota. This division's loaded. I would not count against Jourdan Love. I think he'll learn from his mistakes. That's his greatest strength.
Ty Dunne, TyGoLongTD.com, the Go Long Substack. We love it. Thanks so much for joining us, and have fun doing your own podcast in the next 45 minutes.
Hey, you guys are the best. Any day, anytime. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ty. Appreciate that. A lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
We'll get to it, especially the Aaron Rodgers stuff and Davante Adams, and we're still not sure how this is going to end.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I came away from that saying, man, the Bills need Davante Adams and the Jets need Davante Adams or something. Actually, now I'm wondering, do the Jets even need Davante Adams? Like, Ty, fortunately, EJ, our producer, is not here today to hear this bad news. This bad news about the Jets. I'm feeling a little down for my AFC Green Team friends. This does not feel great.
A lot to do. And by the way, they play each other Monday Night Football next week. Bills, Jets.
Will Davante Adams be on either team?
855-212-4227. Maggie and Perloff coming up. College football is setting up for one of the greatest weekends of the season. We'll take an early look ahead at what's in store. It's Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Thomas Smith couldn't help it, he let it slip. Tarver took a hit, felt his nuts rip. Sprained his fucking nuts, twisted him tight, but came back in the game, ready to fight. He sprained his fucking nuts, his balls got wrecked, but still made the play no one would expect. Caught that pass to the wind like a stud, with his jewels throbbing, lying in the mud. He powered through. He rolls in, he's got that hungry look. Sitting down for breakfast like a king in a nook. Give me that croissant and make it fucking nice. And don't forget that fresh squeezed OJ, it's my vice. He's ordering big, what a fucking sight. $30 on breakfast, man, it's out of sight. Andrew Perloff sweating, can't escape this shit. Off the bed, now he's paying, it's a hell of a fit. 2 eggs on the side and don't skimp on the cheese. I want it all fresh, make me weak in the knees. And that fresh squeezed OJ, I want a fucking glass. Pour it high and mighty, let's make this breakfast last. He's ordering big, what a fucking sight. $30 on breakfast, man, it's out of sight. Andrew Perloff groaning, this ain't what I'm playing. Stuck with the bill, it's all slipping through his hands. While EJ's chowing down, sipping that OJ Bliss. Perloff's calculating just how much this shit is. Damn, this breakfast is fancy, what the hell did I get into? Next time I'm betting on a plain bagel or two. And where's Peter Bellotti? That fucking dude's late, not showing up for work, man, what's his fate? EJ sipping OJ, living life without pain. Bellotti's at home, probably watching the rain. So here's to EJ, the breakfast king supreme, with that fresh squeezed OJ living out his dream. Here's to Andrew Perloff with a sigh and a laugh. Paying for the shit, it's his breakfast half. On the side and don't skip on the cheese. I want it all fresh, make me weak in the knees. And that fresh squeezed OJ, I want a fucking glass. Pour it high and mighty, let's make this breakfast last. He's ordering big, what a fucking sight. Oh yo, L.O. Man, he's got a wiffle bat swinging with flair. Behind the glass, he's waving it in the air. Now that's bright yellow, could do some harm. If he's not careful, it'll raise the alarm. EJ sitting close, looking a bit tense. He knows one wrong move could be at his expense. Man, he swings wild like he's aiming to score. EJ's ducking low, getting ready to hit the floor. Oh, maybe put that bat away. Someone's bound to get hurt today. Peter Bellotti's missing again. So much for counting on our old friends. Man, he's in the zone like he's up in the plate. But one wrong swing and it could seal EJ's fate. The yellow bat's twirling, it's like a storm. EJ's leaning back trying to keep warm. Where's Peter Bellotti? Not a soul knows. He's skipping work as the legend goes, leaving Manny in his back to take the stage. While Peter's off the grid, who knows what age. Oh, Manny, put that bat away. Someone's bound to get hurt today. Peter Bellotti's missing again. So much for counting on our old friends. Man, he's in the zone like he's up at the plate. But one wrong swing and it could seal EJ's fate. The yellow bat's swirling, it's like a storm. EJ's leaning back trying to keep warm. With speed up a body, not a soul knows. He's skipping worse as the legend goes. Leaving Maddie in his back to take the stage. While Peter's on the grid, who knows what age.
Welcome back, Maggie Perloff Show. I had some bad research earlier on NFL father-son duos. There has been an NFL father-son duo that have played on the same team. There have been many fathers and sons who were active at the same time, but I can't believe you didn't remember this team. Forget Gordie Howe and his sons. Forget the Griffeys. What about the Nesser family?
The who?
The Nessers. You don't remember them? Ted and Charles Nesser played together on the Columbus Panhandles in 1926. This, according to the New York Times. I was right. They did have some weird name. The Columbus Panhandles, who later became the Columbus Tigers, of course.
As everyone knows that.
Yeah. But Ted and Charles Nesser remain the only NFL father-son duo to play on the same team at the same time. So this is actually what LeBron and Bronny doing. It is quite rare to play on the same team. There's been lots of fathers and sons active. Tim Raines and his son actually played together. I wasn't aware of that, Tim Raines Jr. But this is going to be really cool with the Bronnies. You could throw that out at a party, Maggie. The Columbus Panhandles. People will be really impressed.
Do I want to clear the room? Am I trying to end the party?
Nerd.
Here's the thing. If you ever talk about NFL history, like people forget, like it's been around for 105 years. Everything that could happen has happened. It's a little like baseball. I am getting more into the Bronny-LeBron thing. This article does point out the only bigger father-son duo is if Tiger and Charlie are paired together at a Masters.
Yeah, but that's different because Tiger can play 2 events a year, and that would consider him, he's still considered active. This is LeBron's played 82-game schedule. It's not even close.
But the magnitude of that story would be massive. Well, Tiger is actually, I mean, I would even argue Tiger's a bigger star than LeBron. Like Tiger and Charlie playing together would be historic.
No doubt, but would it be a bigger deal? I don't think so. Because, first of all, you're the one who's always maligning golf. You're like, you mean the thing that 80-year-olds play? When I said Tiger was going to have trouble walking Augusta because it's a notoriously hilly course, you're like, that's kind of weak. Like, his leg was shattered. Right. Even you will admit the athleticism required for golf versus NBA basketball, very different.
Why is he sweating so much? I totally disagree with that, but it's still like something about Tiger and Charlie. Maybe it's because of everything that Tiger's been through, most of it caused by himself. I just think that would be enormous.
It would be, but if you're asking me what's the bigger accomplishment, like what's the more impressive accomplishment, it's without a doubt LeBron and Bronny.
But okay, what's a bigger story?
Well, I don't know about story. I still think Bronny, because here's the other part. There's only 12 guys on a basketball team.
But you just said he's only there because of LeBron.
He is. That's what bothers me about the story, but I'm still acknowledging that's a big deal.
I think we need to put up a poll. Which would be, how would we word it? Which is a bigger deal? I agree. Physically, it's much more impressive to play in the NBA, except that I don't think Bronny would be playing in the NBA if it wasn't for LeBron. And what if Charlie's good? What if they're in contention going against each other on a Sunday? That would be amazing.
Yeah, but I don't think Tiger's
Who gets to wear red?
Contention. Who gets? Does Tiger still wear red? I thought he gave it. That's not happening anymore.
Okay. But I don't know. I wouldn't count Tiger out completely. Maybe it'll be the Valspar Open. Maybe it won't be a major. I just think that would be cool. I think that would be even cooler because that might be more real than this Bronny LeBron thing. But I'm into it. You know what? I'm a sucker for emotion here. As Dion said, like this is an incredible sort of homage to fatherhood and commitment and everything good in sports. And you guys, because you're generally negative, are not buying in.
I love it how no other NBA dad can be a good dad because they didn't play with their son. So like Carmelo Anthony's not a good dad because his body couldn't hold up long enough to play with Cayenne or whatever.
So is
that what Dion's saying? Like,
no, Dion said this is a nice moment means that he's not saying every other dad is weak. What are you talking about?
No, it's just there's a part of this where, first of all, you had to have LeBron who gets to this unprecedented age to play NBA basketball. He's doing it when so few guys have been able to last this long. So that's the first thing that has to happen. Then he has to not only be still so good, so famous, and so powerful that he can strong-arm an organization like the Los Angeles Lakers, of all people, to bend to his will. Like, yeah, it's a commitment for sure, but let's not pretend like a lot of things had to break right for this to happen, right? That just wouldn't have happened to other guys. Usually when you get to be 40, your power at an organization wanes. And you don't get to call the shots as much because you're probably just hanging on. Like Vince Carter at the end, for as great as Vince Carter was, couldn't have gotten his kid to be drafted by a team.
Right. So, end of the day, are you going to get into this or not, Maggie?
I'm out.
Okay, so you can't get back in then.
I was never in.
So you can't enjoy this moment.
I won't. I'll experience it. I'm not going to feel a type of way. I get that it's a big sports story. This is our job.
No. It's not about that. I know you'll appreciate how big it is, but like, will you get a little bit of the feels over this? None.
No.
0%.
I got the feels over the guy catching the thick 6 interception last night. That was pretty cool.
Bogus, will you get into this at all? You have a son who plays sports.
Yeah, I really, really want to get into it, and I still do think in general it's an amazing accomplishment. It just feels too forced to
that's
really,
LeBron.
yeah, to create an actual emotional reaction.
It would be cool just on its own, but it always feels like we're kind of getting sold something.
Right.
And I'm the biggest LeBron defender on the show. But people say he's corny and he's this and that. He's a dad and he's got the dad jokes and he lies about seeing The Godfather and all of these silly things. I mean, you look past all that stuff because who's he hurting? Nobody. He's not hurting anybody by even having Bronny on the team. I just don't want to be sold that this is that Bronny is here because he earned it. He's not, and we'll see if he grows into an NBA player. That'd be a great story if he takes all the NBA coaching and all the leg ups that he's gotten in terms of his, physio trainers and nutrition and being able to follow a basketball playing dad. We'll see if he turns it into something.
All right. You guys cannot come in on Tuesday morning after this happens and say that was a nice moment. You're not allowed.
Honestly, I think Bryce is probably on track to be the better player, right?
I like that you're warning us to not do a thing that you would do. Me and Maggie are not going to flip in a moment the next morning. You're the one that has flipped from yesterday to today. Like, you're on and off bandwagons. Like, we stay where we began because we have principles.
Ha, ha, ha. And we laughed and we laughed. Bogus has headlines for us, more importantly.
These headlines are sponsored by Prize Picks. Football season's here, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action. Download Prize Picks, use code MNP, and get a $50 credit instantly when you play $5. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details. Despite the sweat and the sadness, Travis Kelce caught 9 passes for 70 yards and handed off for 6 points last night.
Kelce's in a wildcat position. They're going to give it off to Worthy on the right side. Worthy sneaks into the end zone. Touchdown! Kansas City on an RPO handoff from Travis Kelce.
Mitch Holtis on Chiefs Radio. The Worthy touchdown came after the Saints had closed within 3 points early in the fourth quarter of Monday Night Football in KC. Harrison Butker tacked on a field goal for the 26-13 Chiefs win. Third straight loss for the Saints, but this one felt different to head coach Dennis Allen.
For the first time this year, I felt like, we didn't play the way we're capable of playing, so I was disappointed in that.
Alvin Kamara only ran for 26 yards. Derek Carr threw for just 185 before a fourth quarter exit. Took a big hit. It's being called an oblique injury right now. An MRI is coming. The Buccaneers, by the way, will be in New Orleans later today. They are leaving Tampa ahead of Hurricane Milton. Will stay in New Orleans, prep for Sunday's game with the Saints.
By the way, if you're watching any of this coverage, when is this hurricane supposed to make landfall?
I believe
Wednesday night.
Yeah, tomorrow
Naples.
night.
I have a friend in Naples who said Wednesday night is the batten down the hatches night. This is unbelievable. I was down there in that part of Remember, I went down to Naples in 2021, I believe, and Ian, you saw it everywhere.
Hurricane Ian, yeah.
Hurricane Ian, and they say this is going to possibly be worse. I can't believe that.
Well, we saw a lot of buildings and neighborhoods and stuff that were underwater, and that was a 6-foot storm surge. This is 12.
Yeah.
I watched the mayor of Tampa. Did you guys see this woman last night on CNN? It was very sobering. I know we're not, a meteorologist around here, but the mayor of Tampa was asked, they said, what's your message to people who say, I can ride this out? I've been told before that these hurricanes are coming and I'm fine and I'm going to ride it out. And the mayor of Tampa looked straight in the camera and said, if you are in an evacuation zone and you don't get out, you will die. I've never heard someone talk that bluntly about something like this, and it is just scaring the bejesus out of everybody. Not to add to the alarm and add to the hysteria, but they're calling this like the big one. This is awful.
I mean, it gained 100 miles per hour in wind speed yesterday in like less than 24 hours. Like, went to bed, it was a Category 1, and in the morning it was a Category 5.
I saw 180 miles per hour.
Yeah, it's
for the wind. Yeah.
There was a meteorologist, I think, in Tampa Bay, an older guy, and they said he's the dean of the city meteorologist, and he almost was in tears.
I saw that clip.
Like, afraid of what's coming and what's happening.
Oh my gosh, it's just one after the other too.
Makes our sports headlines seem trivial in a sense compared to this.
No doubt.
So wait, just to get back to that. So Tampa flew to New Orleans.
They're leaving today.
Leaving today.
Yeah.
Wow. And can you imagine trying to play a football game with not knowing if your home is going to be there when you get back?
Well, and not even that. Like, what's everybody's family doing? Like, as a dad or a husband, don't you want to stay with your family or go somewhere with your family? They're not taking everybody out of Tampa Bay.
Well, and you see, like, the traffic is backed up of people trying to leave the city. And my first thought is, where are people going? If you're trying to get hotels and stuff like that, are they going to be price gouged? And are they going to be taken advantage of, people who are trying to leave and just find some safety? That's awful. Just awful. We're hoping we provide the tiniest little bit of distraction for stuff like that. That's all we can do, if there's such a thing. And with that, I pass it back to you, Bo.
Yeah, let's go back to baseball.
Here's a bounce pass right back to you.
Yesterday afternoon in Cleveland, this swing did things that don't usually happen.
Runner goes, pitch is swung on, a high fly ball to right field. This one is gonna fly! A 3-run home run! Kerry Carpenter!
Brian Anderson on TBS. Kerry Carpenter's blast broke a scoreless tie in Game 2 with the Guardians. It got his Tigers a 3-0 win to level the series at a game apiece. It was also the first homer that Guardians closer Emmanuel Clase allowed since August 30th. It was the first time he's allowed multiple runs in an appearance since September 2023, and it was the first 3-run shot he has given up in the majors.
I mean, 5 earned runs all year and then 3 on one swing.
And this dude smoked it.
I saw. What do you even do with that? That's a why even play the games.
Yeah, you go bleep happens, and I move on, and we do something different. I just go right back out there in Game 3.
Yeah.
A Salvador Perez solo homer started a 4-run fourth for the Royals last night at Yankee Stadium.
That's baseball.
They didn't score in any other inning, but they still won the game 4-2 to even this series at 1 as well. Both those AL series change locations today, while the NLDSs get back on the field, both tied at a game apiece as well. The Mets host the Phillies, 5:08 Eastern. Padres, Dodgers in San Diego start 4 hours later. And both Vanderbilt and Arkansas fined yesterday for the field stormings after Saturday's upsets. The Commodores docked $100,000, not to mention the cost of new goalposts. The Razorbacks have done this before, so they now owe the SEC $250K. Guys, back to you.
Does that go into a special fund?
I actually think
it should go to charity.
Does. I don't think it goes to charity, but I think it goes to some kind of like emergency thing.
It's called the AD's salaries.
I mean, maybe.
The SEC president's salary.
Yeah.
Buys EJ breakfast.
The timeshare in CSP.
Yeah. Fresh squeezed orange juice for everybody, courtesy of Arkansas.
Yeah, by the way, I should update. I did put a poll out. Hold on one second. About if someone offers to buy you breakfast, can you order $6 fresh squeezed orange juice? EJ, early returns not looking good for you. 57% of people saying no. And
In line.
EJ's response was, "It's not caviar." It's like, that's the bar.
It almost
Oh, my
is.
goodness.
I always feel like fresh squeezed orange juice is like, maybe when I was a kid, like that's a line, like that is fancy.
By the way, because here's when we joke around, we love, Tropicana and all that stuff is fine, but it is something you can tell the difference.
No, absolutely. But I think it's more common now for you younger folks. And when I was a kid, like fresh squeezed orange juice was like a once in a generation kind of treat.
What is Sunny D?
Nothing.
Sunny D, that's not even Tropicana.
It's delicious. That's what that is.
What's in it?
You don't want to know.
cares?
You don't want to know.
What's Orangina?
Orangina's soda.
Yeah, like
That's like a
carbonated
soda,
orange
yeah.
juice, kind of.
It has that
it's
weird
French.
bottle.
Yes.
Or English. I had a ton when I was in London.
You actually went the exact opposite direction of fresh squeezed orange juice to go to Sunny D.
Well, I was wondering, what are the other options? Like,
Oh, like
Just
one of those
orange
little
juice.
pouches, like little drink pouches that you give your 5-year-old.
Yeah.
like Capri Sun.
Capri Sun.
I'll tell you what, Capri Sun will save a life.
Delicious.
yeah.
If you're so parched, a Capri Sun, squeeze the bag. Just,
But you know the headline there, right?
What?
They're getting rid of the bags. They're going to
Environmentally
bottles.
unfriendly.
Yep.
They're not environmentally friendly? I thought that's the whole reason why they got the bags to begin with.
I don't know about that, but they're switching to bottles.
Oh, yeah. Oh, okay. Well, bottles isn't
Yeah, but
friendly
I
either.
can't, not a glass bottle,
No.
plastic. Like, that's better
Whatever.
for the environment.
Yeah. I don't know if the environment's the reason. I just know that they are switching to bottles.
Yeah, but the nostalgia, I believe, of stabbing your straw into the pouch, that's gone now.
Did you guys have to do that with your milk, too? At one point, we switched from a milk carton to a milk pouch, and there's nothing more
You guys born in the 1800s? What do you mean a milk pouch?
No, like a
Where are
little
you
box.
from?
She means a box, right?
No, a pouch.
Like a Capri Sun pouch?
Yeah, but it was clear. You
Wait,
guys
it
didn't
was
have
this from
this?
FEMA? I don't understand what's happening here.
Seriously.
Yes, I grew up in a disaster zone. That was just a regular Wednesday.
Was I putting pennies in boxes for you?
Oh, man, there's nothing
That's
good.
my face wasn't on the milk carton, guys. Sheesh.
These chocolate chip cookies are delicious. Get me a pouch of milk.
It's really unappetizing. But it got the job done. And they would just sling them out to us.
What?
Actually, I think we paid for them.
I know like little boxes that you put the straw in.
Yeah, no,
I've
this
seen
was
those.
a pouch of milk.
There was not milk in those pouches. I'm telling you, there was not milk in those pouches, Maggie.
I know, it looked like a breast implant. It wasn't, though. It wasn't. It
Just
was
in
milk.
case you wanted to live in Binghamton anymore, here's your milk pouch.
I wonder if they're still doing them up there.
Let's go find out, I guess.
Endless winter's not enough. I've got milk in a pouch.
Let's go to a Binghamton Mets game and go get some milk pouches.
2 at a time.
Or the Rumble Ponies. Excuse me?
Double fisting milk pouches. Is
Okay,
the name
getting
of my new
weird.
fantasy team.
As Kaplan cuts that GIF, whatever
Yeah.
meme.
It's funny because yesterday I didn't want to say the name for the male anatomy, but I feel like
You
I just
shoulda.
topped myself.
Yeah.
The visual gag was worse.
Yeah, I was about to say.
You should have said that word 14 times yesterday and not done that.
I thought I was going to get a resounding.
I think we should go to break before you,
I thought you guys
put
were
any
gonna
more
be with
video
me.
evidence out there.
Yeah, the last 5 minutes were
Is
rather
it too late
disconcerting.
to add that to your award montage
Yeah,
for
yeah.
tomorrow?
I didn't think I got the award. It's that kind of candor
Oh,
that
candor.
made me a game changer.
Wasn't the milk pouches?
Oh, this whole thing is all on a foundation of milk pouches.
Wasn't the milk pouches you just drank back in Binghamton, the 1800s?
Perloff can't
we
even
didn't-
look at anybody.
We didn't milk our own cows, although it was one step away from that. It's not that far. Okay,
Please break.
the Chiefs. They play football. We'll talk about them next.
You're in a 5-minute break.
Get set.
Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. 4 minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. $45 seconds remaining. $30 seconds remaining. $15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. We could see a quarterback change in the NFL starting next week. We'll get to that in a minute, but George is our pal in Los Angeles, not feeling great about his Rams being 1-4. But George, you ready for a fire sale?
Yes, I am, Maggie. Good morning, and Perloff. I appreciate you picking the Rams win the division, but that obviously is not going to happen. But, yeah, we need to move on from Stafford and Cup because they're the last two players on the team that are quite a bit against the cap. And nothing against Stafford, but he's younger than Aaron Rodgers, but his mobility is in question now. And, you know, he gave up some sacks, when they had least field goals, etc. during the game. But the Rams just need to move on. I know McVay's all about hope and getting things right, but sometimes the season just is out of control due to injuries.
So here's my thing, though, George, about Cooper Kupp, right? So McVay said yesterday that Cooper Kupp, they'd be targeting week 7 for him to come back, but that's by no means a guarantee. I feel like his trade value has got to be extremely low right now because who would think he's going to stay healthy? And then for Stafford, totally different calculus, right? Is there a team that would want to trade for a quarterback?
You're not trading for Stafford.
No, it'd be crazy.
There's somebody to definitely take Stafford. But see, the thing is, you guys, the Rams are the second youngest team in the NFL besides the Green Bay Packers.
Right.
So they can get some draft capital, somewhere. I mean, and why have that huge cap? And both of these guys are getting up in age in football years. And
no, George, I get it. You're going to have to do some retooling here. I think the biggest question, George, we know you're a diehard Rams fan. I'm sorry the season has gone off the rails, and thank you for the call. I just think that, what are the Rams going to do at quarterback after the season is obviously a question. But do you think Cooper Kupp has trade value now? Not like Davante Adams.
Well, Adams, though, I have to check Kupp's numbers. Adams is only a rental. Like, you have to re-sign Adams. So that's why Adams hasn't been traded yet, because the money situation is not good with him. Kupp, if you could trade for him and have him for the future, possibly, maybe there's more value in that sense. When Rashee Rice got hurt, Peter Schrager, who knows the Rams better than anyone, NFL Network, said, I would call the Rams about Cooper Kupp. So if he's back by week 7 or week 8, you got to think about a contender would need him for the latter half, maybe a 3rd-round pick. I mean, that's what Adams is probably going to go for, too. I would do a 3rd-round
consolation prize if you don't get Adams?
It's a different calculus. Like, you could keep Kupp. Adams, you're either going to have to resign. I don't want to resign Adams to a $32 million a year contract. Kupp, I would be kind of interested in that. Like, Kupp's a great player, and he's younger, and I think has more stability contract-wise. We got to look at his numbers on Spotrac or one of those sites.
The injuries I'd be worried about. Meanwhile, with the New England Patriots, so Jerod Mayo saying that they're reevaluating the quarterback position every week, right? They're reevaluating every single day. It's no different now. Obviously, a lot different than, last week when he said Jacoby Brissett is 100% our starter. So maybe cracking the door open a little bit, Perloff, to see Drake May. I don't like this at all.
Why?
Because you're going to put Drake May out there behind this offensive line to do what? Get beat up?
I don't know. It's just play some football. Learn how to play the game. Why not? What's the point of having Jacoby Brissett out there?
Well, you went with Brissett this season because even though Drake may have been ready coming out of training camp, you decided to go with the veteran, right? This feels like it was a predetermined thing that they were doing. So now the team stinks. They're exactly what we thought was going to happen, which is there are lack of talent on the offensive side. So now all of a sudden, 5 weeks into the season, they're like, oh yeah, this is a good time to put Drake May in.
So
what's changed?
I just like they gave Brissett a try. Drake May's had a lot more practice. They don't even throw that much anyway. Just hand the ball to Ramondre Stevenson 30 times a game and let Drake May get 20 reps. What's the point of having him on the bench there?
Well, you don't want to get him hurt this year, I would say, number one. And with anyone, you're really just trying to develop the quarterback, and maybe the team gets a little better in the offseason, and you're actually giving Drake May a shot, a chance, a real chance, not to just go out there with a team that is way below average.
Well, I think this is where you and I disagree. I think he's a better quarterback week 1 next year if he gets at least 10 games under his belt this year. He'll see a lot of real NFL defenses. Yeah, maybe he'll get hurt, but you can't really think like that. I mean, the norm is to play the rookie quarterback. Sitting a year, it's worked with Mahomes, certainly worked with Jordan Love, but I think he'll be a lot more familiar. This is a guy who needs to play some football. He has not.
Yeah, but this is not a Trey Lance situation where he barely played in college. Like, he played a ton of college, and the other part
in
too,
the ACC. I mean, this is NFL football.
Okay.
He really needs to see football.
Even more of a reason to sit him. I think that you just named a couple examples. If you don't have the urgency, like that's not coming down from the owner or the general manager or the coach, and you actually have time to sit a guy.
Also,
you take the time.
You honestly, May gives you a better chance to win, and you're not tanking because you don't need a quarterback next year, so you might win some games.
Yeah, you could get a left tackle. You could get a defensive end.
Yes,
other great positions.
They want Travis Hunter is what all the rumors are. But regardless, you get them at 5. You don't need them at 1.
The biggest thing we learned last night from the Saints and the Chiefs, we'll tell you next.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. 15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Chiefs off to a 5-0 start after last night's win over the Saints. Derek Carr has to leave the game with a back injury, oblique injury is what they're calling it, Pearl. But here we are again. Chiefs look like maybe not one of the best teams in the NFL, but certainly one of the most dangerous because they simply don't make the type of mistakes that other teams make. Their mistakes never feel like they're so, such a detriment. It always feels like they can overcome them. Even Mahomes throws a pick last night at the goal line, a pick in the end zone. Very rare for Mahomes to throw those kind of interceptions. It kind of got knocked up.
It was kind of a drop by Schuster-Smith, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Juju, Smith-Schuster, and it ends up in the hands of a lineman. And even those kinds of things, they're just able to come back again. And it doesn't matter who's injured, and it doesn't matter if they're playing shorthanded, and it doesn't matter if Mahomes is on one leg like we've seen in the past. They always find a way to get it done. And can I just throw this at you as well? It feels like, and I know it's early, but doesn't it feel like the waters are parting even more for the Chiefs this year than in years past? Again, we have a long way to go, but the Bills are starting to show cracks. The Jets are starting to show cracks.
Wait.
Ravens have never been able to do this in the postseason. The Bengals are off to a 1-4 start. I know you're still high on them, but mathematically, this is going to be a big challenge for them to make the postseason. There's just a math element to it.
Well, you lost me with the Jets are starting to show cracks.
Well, you picked them to win the AFC. I picked them to go far.
To win the AFC East.
AFC East, excuse me.
I picked them to
go far.
Yes, but then again, last year's formula was Baltimore looked unbeatable, right? And then turns out they were beatable. So I'm not sure that I understand totally what you're saying, but just the predictability of it, like maybe some of these other teams will be more dangerous. Like it doesn't matter. Like they could easily be 11-6 and still be the team to beat in the playoffs. I don't know exactly that what we've seen through 5 weeks does not exactly convince me of like, oh, the AFC is struggling. Like, I mean, Baltimore looks great, for example. Houston 4-1 and isn't even playing well. Like there's a lot of things that could happen. You know it's early to say something like that.
No, this is what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a team like the Chiefs that is going for an unprecedented thing we've never seen in football, which is a three-peat. And you would think that maybe teams start to figure them out a little bit. You would think that maybe things get tougher,
which they have.
Well, but not as far as the competition is concerned.
Well, I mean, they haven't scored 30 points in a game yet this year.
Okay, but they've also weathered the storm of some really big injuries and really significant injuries on the offense. So you forgive them if they haven't been able to put out the point production, at least so far. I'm just saying, we've talked about it. Is there one runaway team in the AFC? Is there one runaway team in the NFC? But let's just keep it on the AFC now if we're talking about the Chiefs. It just feels like all the comers, all the contenders, all the ones who could actually knock the Chiefs off the pedestal, I'm not feeling that confident about any of those teams right now.
I'm just saying on paper, you would have felt that way about Baltimore last year.
I would have.
Yeah, they were at home. They looked like the dominant team, and it still didn't make any difference. I'm just saying, like, these other teams that are, the Chiefs look like a number one seed all the way right now. I'm not sure that really, I mean, it's still going to be a lot of close games in the playoffs. We know that's the way they play. And, it's funny.
But the coin flips always go their way. Doesn't it seem like that? At some point, it's not an accident. At some point, it's not luck.
Patriots were like that, too, until the coin flips stopped going their way and they started losing 50-50 games. I'm just saying, like, yes, this is all true, but can't you see them being in a 17-14 game with 4 minutes left in the fourth quarter in January?
And what's going to feel inevitable then?
You're right.
So,
you're right.
I guess this is less of a commentary on the Chiefs, and it's actually more of a commentary on the rest of the AFC.
I think the rest of the AFC could round into shape more than you do. I mean, you never know. You never know. I think the Texans could get hot, assuming Nico Collins isn't really injured. I mean, they're wildly talented, and the Ravens look amazing. And again, I admit it's a bit of a dark horse, but the 1-4 Bengals, if they get to the playoffs and somehow figure out their defense, who knows? Again, last year everything looked perfect on paper for the Ravens, and it didn't work. Just the fact that so far the Chiefs are winning these games. I'll bet you the Chiefs lose their next game. I mean, they never lose coming off a bye, but they're going to San Francisco. And I think San Francisco, if they get McCaffrey back for that game, they're going to be on a mission in that game. Yeah. I'm telling you, the Chiefs are having a lot of close games. And honestly, I don't think they care. I think they're like, well, it doesn't even matter. It's not the playoffs. But last night, I didn't watch last night's game and say, oh, this is the world-beating Chiefs. I thought the Saints were kind of pathetic.
The game just felt inevitable.
Yeah,
but this is
Saints,
how it's going to end. It's going to end with the Chiefs winning. And even when the Saints pulled it to within a field goal, they score a touchdown. It's 16-13, missed the extra point. It's just like...
Oh, I couldn't believe that.
It's just, and again, was that the difference in the game? No, because what happened? The Chiefs went right down and scored.
I thought the Saints should have gone for 2 there. It would have made it 16-15, and there, if the Chiefs score again, still a 1-score game. Turns out that they
didn't have that math?
Well, no, it turns out they missed the extra point anyway.
Right, so it didn't matter.
I'm just saying the risk would have been the exact same. I felt like that game, the second Carr threw that early pick, they're like,
it was the first series.
Yeah, this is not happening tonight. It just felt like going to Kansas City for a team like the Saints playing outdoors. Nah, wasn't going to happen.
Yeah, I think that in this epic quest for a three-peat, I feel better about the Chiefs than I ever have. And not because of necessarily how they're playing. It's because I'm looking around at the rest of the AFC and I'm like, I don't know. I mean, again, could Baltimore have been playing any better last year? They go to San Francisco, they beat the brakes off of them. Houston comes in as a hot team, they maul them.
Baltimore's got a secret weapon this year.
Derrick Henry?
I mean, they have Derrick Henry this year. They're figuring out how to use him.
I'm just saying, last year felt like you get home field advantage. You got them right where you want them, and you couldn't even make it happen then. It's like,
but they could have run the ball in that AFC title game. The Chiefs loaded the box.
Well, good luck running against this team. Alvin Kamara didn't have a great night last night, unless I missed something.
I'm just saying you have Derrick Henry now. Who knows? I mean, again, this doesn't make much sense, but the fact that Baltimore is probably going to come in as maybe even as a have to play wild card weekend, they won't have the bye. I just think that we're going to be back in a dogfight in the AFC playoffs. I don't see it as they don't blow out anyone, the Chiefs. So they're going to be back in that fight. I think the Ravens are interesting. I think they're as interesting this year as they were last year.
Listen, the Ravens are interesting, but and the Texans are interesting. Until the Bengals start winning some games, I can't start really talking about them as a legitimate contender to knock anyone off. The Bills look like they're reeling, and Josh Allen may have looked very much like he got a concussion in that last game. We'll see what happens. And we had Ty Dunne from GoLongTD.com, his Substack, talking about Aaron Rodgers, and he brought up a lot of good points about Rodgers. What version of Rodgers are we getting here? Because this has not been standout banner beginning of the season. It's like it doesn't look like any of that training camp. It's like he might as well have been in Egypt the whole time. Go right to Egypt, stay there. Because I'm not seeing any of the fruits, really, of this great training camp. EJ, you look like you're about to have a heart attack / panic attack / puke attack.
Between the chills from this cold and Maggie's cold assessment of the Jets.
I think he's a bum.
I think he's not looking good right now. You gotta be real.
It's interesting. I'm looking at the odds, by the way. The Chiefs are been favored all year long. They're plus 22-1 to win the AFC, but plus 220 to win the AFC. Baltimore's right behind them.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I just don't think, like, Baltimore kind of made a statement this weekend, putting up over 500 yards of offense. I do feel like
still took overtime, but yeah.
I still just think this Derek. Yeah, I mean, they were going against a red hot Joe Burrow. I think
they should have lost that game. Lamar Jackson fumbles in overtime. How often do you win a game like that?
It's in Cincinnati, and Joe Burrow's seeing the field completely clearly until the very, very end of the game. I just think that Derrick Henry there, like that's a slim odds. I do think that I'm into the Chiefs too, but I just think the fact that they're playing so close, even last night, it was 16-13. Against
a drive.
For a beat-up Saints team. Like, the Saints have a long, long injury list.
Well, that's
on the
road.
road.
That's the one thing about the Chiefs. It's just, they get into the red zone. They were 2 for 7.
Yeah.
But they've got Butker, who actually missed a field goal last night, which is rare. But
they hang around. They hang around. I'm telling you, this happened to the Patriots. The Patriots won all their close games until all of a sudden, 2007, they lost a weird one. That's the way football is.
Okay, Chiefs go into the bye week. As we mentioned, Derek Carr has an oblique, and we're wondering if the Saints could still be a possible landing spot for Davante Adams. If Derek Carr is not 100%, are you really starting to now say, all right, are we going to invest in this season? You start off 2-0, you're gangbusters. Now you're 2-3. You're still going to be in it in that division, Pearl, in the NFC South, but is this look like the team that deserves the investment, like for a rental like Adams?
No. I think that was a nice little dream in the beginning of the season. This was going to happen for the Saints. They are overdue a rebuild. Like, it's time. I know they have this crazy cap situation where they've been pushing their cap down for years and years. And I know they have no cap space for Davante Adams. And I know that they don't have a lot of flexibility at a lot of positions. But, I mean, this is not happening. Can we just agree with that? The Derek Carr Saints, they're not going anywhere.
Okay. So there was even a thought that maybe the Chiefs might be interested in Davante Adams. Put that to bed. And that's not happening anyway. They'd have to pay such a premium to pry him from a division rival. It's not going to be worth it. So take the Chiefs out. Let's take the Saints out for now.
Yeah.
Who really is in contention for Adams?
Is
it the Jets and the Jets? Because then they're going to probably try to play a little hardball here and say, well, we're not going to negotiate against ourselves. This feels like Aaron Rodgers 2.0 between the Jets and the Packers. Remember, they didn't want to overpay for Rodgers because they felt like they were the only team that was in the running.
I mean, I watched your Bills on Sunday.
Oh, I'd love it, but have they shown any interest whatsoever yet? They've got an extra second-round pick from the Stephon Diggs trade, and I haven't heard a peep.
Well, they've been in they're high up on the odds. They're like third. I mean,
have you heard one insider?
But have you heard
one connection? Nothing.
Yes, everybody's talking about the Bills.
No,
like
but
they're like
real.
the B option. No, but what is real about anybody until the actual trade happens?
Well, because we've seen Aaron Rodgers want guys who may or may not have made sense for the Jets, and he gets them anyway. We see Aaron Rodgers as a de facto general manager. Josh Allen isn't de facto general manager.
What about
he's not calling shots like that there. He should be, but he's not.
Yeah, I mean, I do think the Ravens exploding offensively kind of maybe knocks them out. The Commanders clearly don't need them.
The 49ers, people thought.
Yeah. But the 49ers are going to be tough to fit in. What about, okay, let's see. Who else is on this list? The Packers.
Okay, because Romeo Doubs. So you're going to trade Davante Adams back to the Packers? You think he wants to go back?
If I were him, I would. I think you have to wait on injuries. Oh, the Lions. That's an interesting one, too. God, I love that.
They don't have enough weapons? Even the Lions need more weapons? Good grief.
Put Davante on that team. Let's go.
All right, let's head to our pal Leland in the 916. Leland, do you want Davante Adams?
I wanted Davante Adams, and I hope he could go there.
For the 49ers.
Maybe his attitude would mix things up and make these guys want to win. But, you're talking about the Chiefs, both you and Perloff are talking about the Chiefs and what they do. I mean, who do you see that puts in 4 tight ends in one set and run the ball? Nobody but Andy Reid.
I know.
That guy is a genius. And, they're winning because they're imposing their will on the opposing team. And I predict the Chiefs are going to go far, and we're going to see them in the postseason. Now let's go back to my 49ers. They can't impose their will on anyone. And Nick Sorensen, he is a disgrace as a defensive coordinator. I don't have the All-22, but I watch a little bit of that stuff on YouTube. And those 49er defensive backs were in disarray. They're communicating with each other seconds before the snap. Do you got that guy? Do I got that guy? And then they rip off a 10, 15-yard gain. That happened all throughout the game. So I want to call him, and then I'll listen to your response.
Yeah,
afterwards.
Leland. I know. First of all, Leland's prediction, Chiefs in the postseason. Manny, write that down. And then secondly, the 49ers, I get why Leland is ticked off a little bit about that, right? You blow a double-digit lead to the Arizona Cardinals, and you're wondering, like, wait, what's going on? I thought we had this defense all fixed. I thought that getting Steve Wilkes out of the building was going to make things better. I believe Hufanga went out again, right? A little injured.
Well, actually, yeah. The defense has been kind of hot and cold this year. I think they're a little better statistically than they were last year. They're just not like winning games like they used to 3 or 4 years ago. I thought the Cardinals game was as fluky a game as you will ever see. The Chiefs get down to the red zone, don't have a kicker. The Chiefs get down to the red zone, Jourdan Mason fumbles. I'm sorry, the Niners.
Yep.
The Niners kept driving straight down the field. One of the narratives I'm seeing a lot of have people figured out Kyle Shanahan's offense. There's another thing out there because they're explosive, but they're not that explosive. I think it's because there's no McCaffrey there, and I think also that Debo and Ayuk took a long time to sort of get settled in. So I'm assuming this team just gets better and better when all the players are there.
Yeah, I'm going to be honest. I had kind of forgotten about McCaffrey.
But you could. I mean, Niners fans are not. If he's in that game by Sunday, they win by 15 points.
Well, maybe that's true, but what's he going to look like coming off of Achilles tendonitis? His dad, Ed McCaffrey, was doing an interview recently on a podcast that I don't remember exactly which one, so sorry, but talking about how he definitely got the tendonitis because he was because he was favoring one leg, and obviously then it spread to the other leg. And then he said the reason he went to Germany to try to get some different medical attention is because the 49ers said you just have to rest. And apparently McCaffrey would not accept that as a treatment. So he's being extra aggressive to try to go to Germany and get this stuff done. And I just ask, if you're aggressive, are you sure it's going to work? The team says rest, and you're not doing that. So you can defy the team to go try this other treatment. And what happens if you get back on the field, but you weren't actually healed? And, then we're just dealing with McCaffrey in and out of the lineup all season long. Because you're right. The Niners look fine. They don't look special, though. And last year, and even with the defense being bad, they look special. We rarely ask, maybe the Lions a little bit, but we were rarely asking who's the best team in the NFC. Because your Eagles were frauds.
Yeah, I mean, Purdy,
the Cowboys,
Purdy definitely looks like he's a little better than he even was last year. Purdy is unbelievable.
Yeah,
the running around is insane. But again, I heard Purdy after the game say, like, we're not good in the red zone without McCaffrey. That's like, it's a big problem. Jourdan Mason seems to be really good between the 20s and not great in the red zone. So they were 1 for 6 and below the 20 of getting a touchdown against the Cardinals. They can fix that with McCaffrey. And McCaffrey, so the headline is he's not active for Thursday's game. Big game against Seahawks. Just the fact that that's such a big headline means to me there is no way he's missing the Chiefs game. And I'm sorry, I am not as...
What game's more important? The Seahawks is definitely a more important game.
Well, he's just not ready yet. Yeah. And it's also a Thursday game. It's really short week. This is coming right on top of us in 2 days. The thing about McCaffrey is, I'm not sure I would bet against him because if he's out on that field, that guy runs like a maniac. Yeah, it might only last a couple games.
Well, I mean, what's the goal here? To be healthy for a couple games or to be healthy for another run at this thing?
I just think the Niners got to get in. They got to get in because imagine if you see them in the playoffs and they have a fully healthy Deebo Samuel, a healthy McCaffrey, a healthy Kittle, and Ayuk back in shape. That's a really good offense. Now, the defense is just okay.
It'd be just in time to blow a 10-point lead.
Well, you say that, but I'm telling you, it's a different formula. They had the perfect formula last year, and it didn't work. So I think that these teams, if they just get healthy towards the end, there's nobody in the NFC who's better than the Niners. There's no one nearly as talented.
855-212
except the Lions.
4227. Okay, lots more to do, including we head to college and take an early look at what could be one of the great college weekends we've had. You guys thought Alabama Vandy delivered and all the upsets last week. Well, this is heavyweights, just slugging it out. And we got an early preview for you. Don't move. Maggie and Perloff right after this. Hey, sports fans.
Manny's at the park, got the yellow bat in hand, swinging for the fences, looking true at full bat. swinging away, chasing those home runs, living for the play. Where's Peter Butler? He's a fucking duplicate. Not showing up for work, man, watch his fate. He swings and he misses and gives a loud shout. Who needs a game plan? I'm just here for the clout. With every swing, the crowd's laughing hard. Man, he's living wild, just playing his card. Whoa. He swings and he misses and gives a loud shout. Who needs a game plan? I'm just here for the clout. With every swing, the crowd's laughing hard. Man, he's living wild, just playing his card. Whoa. Man, he ain't writing shit down, just swinging away, chasing those home runs, living for the play. Where's Peter Butler? He's a fucking duplicate. Not showing up for work, man, what's his fate? Swing, he's making a scene. Look at me go on the wiffle back queen. Whoa. No worries, no stress, just having a blast, while Peter's at home dodging work like a pass. Whoa, whoa. So here's the man, he's swinging with pride, with that yellow wiffle bat, he's taking it in stride. It's a Peter Bellati with a sigh and a laugh, still missing from work, it's his legendary pass. In hand, swinging for the fences like the true for Batman. No plans, no thoughts, just hitting their flare. Guess I learned from Peter Bellati, no worries or care. Man, he ain't writing shit down, just swinging away, chasing those home runs, living for the play. Where's Peter Bellati? He's a fucking duplicate. Not showing up for work, man, what's his fate? Swings and he misses and gives a loud shout. Who needs a game plan? I'm just here for the clout. With every swing, the crowd's laughing hard. Man, he's living wild, just playing his card. Whoa. He swings and he misses and gives a loud shout. Who needs a game plan? I'm just here for the clout. With every swing, the crowd's laughing hard. Man, he's living wild, just playing his card. Whoa. Man, he ain't writing shit down, just swinging away, chasing those home runs, living for the play. Where's Peter Butler? He's a fucking duplicate. Not showing up for work, man, what's his fate? Swing, he's making a scene. Look at me go on the wiffle back queen. Whoa. No worries, no stress, just having a blast, while Peter's at home dodging work like a pass. Whoa, whoa. So here's the man, he's swinging with pride, with that yellow wiffle bat, he's taking it in stride. It's a Peter Bellati with a sigh and a laugh, still missing from work, it's his legendary pass.
This is Maggie for the Sports Minute.
What's his fate? Whoa, whoa. What's his fate? Sitting down for breakfast like a king in a nook. Give me that croissant and make it fucking nice. And don't forget that fresh squeezed OJ is my vice. He's just ordering big, what a fucking sight. $30 on breakfast, man, it's out of sight. And you Perloff sweat, get escaped and shit. Lost the bet, now he's paying, it's a hell of a fit.
Welcome back, Maggie and Perloff. Okay, last weekend in college football was supposed to be at sort of an off week. It turned out to be wild and thrilling. So I can't even imagine what's coming up next week now that we have all these top 10 teams playing each other. It's going to be super exciting.
Yeah, last weekend was the weekend of upsets. This weekend is the weekend of heavyweight battles. And everyone's been having this weekend sort of circled on their calendar for quite a long time. We want to give you an early preview of some of the biggest games this weekend. And Perloff, it starts with, well, I think you can say it better than I can. What do they call Texas, Oklahoma?
Oh, the Wed Wibble Wobble?
Exactly. So what are you most looking forward to with the Wed Wibble Wibble week?
I mean, I can't. What Quinn Ewers is going to start. I'm so fascinated about how Quinn Ewers compares to Arch Manning. I don't even care if Quinn Ewers is a number 3 pick in the NFL draft. Can he hold off Arch Manning, who is pretty good, not perfect when he was in there for an injured Ewers? So finally we get to see a real test. Oklahoma is not great. But, Texas, with their talent, should win this game. But to me, it's like, ooh, if every time, I know how you think too, every time Ewers misses a pass, I'm going to be like, ooh, Arch would have hit that one.
Well, every time Ewers takes a hit, I think I'm going to be like, oh, is Arch warming up his arm, ready to get in the game? I think this is what's interesting about this game to me, beyond the Ewers thing, which I'll definitely agree, is I think that we've seen some cracks here with some of the top teams. Like we just saw Alabama lose to Vandy. We saw Georgia lose to Alabama. Now Ohio State has answered the bell, and they were convincing against Iowa. We'll get to them in a moment. But even Oregon started off the season a bit slow. We've seen Penn State, who is really the best team in college football? Right now, I think people would say Texas is the best team. So how do they do it in this rivalry game? That's what's most fascinating to me. Okay, Oregon, Ohio State. Again, we're just doing early preview. This was the game a lot of people circled the moment that the Pac-12 and the Big Ten essentially sort of merged. Oregon hosting Ohio State.
Yeah, so Ohio State, I think on paper Ohio State is basically an NFL team. They have about 8 legit NFL players on defense, and they have a bunch on offense, including probably the best offensive player in the country. And I know that sounds crazy in a world with Ashton Genty and Ryan Williams, but Jeremiah Smith is just so spectacular. We've never seen a freshman receiver like this. He doesn't need 2 hands, apparently.
Yeah.
So I understand people are a little surprised that Oregon is a 4-point underdog here. The talent is on Ohio State's side. There's no doubt about that. I just wonder, this is one of the great tests. How do the Big Ten teams do when you take them out of the Midwest and make them go to the coast?
I'm fascinated by this game. The one thing I'm looking forward to the most, and you think, Oregon, you're talking about offense, and how are these offenses going to go throw for throw? That's not what I'm looking forward to. I'm looking forward to this Oregon defense, and how do they get some pressure up the middle against the offensive line for Ohio State. Dan Lanning is a defensive guy, and I think when you have a quarterback like Bo Nix last year and they're in these shootouts with Washington, that's one thing. But this is, to me, I'm actually expecting something a little bit more low scoring, and I think this Oregon defense is good, and I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do against all those weapons you talked about.
Yeah. Okay, we'll see. I mean, they have how many first-round receivers are on that roster? At least 4.
Okay, but Oregon's secondary is ranked 2nd in the nation in passes defended. I mean...
Yeah, but have they seen a team like this? I know.
This is why we're excited about this game.
Okay.
Okay, one more for you, and we got to get to Bogish. Maybe a little of the shine, a bit taken off of this game just because USC lost to Minnesota, but Penn State going to Southern California.
Yeah.
Did you hear James Franklin yesterday talking about how they have to leave from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, because the runway is not long enough to take the whole traveling party to all the way to California?
I did see that. Planes, trains, and automobiles.
They have to connect in Sioux City.
So I have a question about this. Does this count as a big game for James Franklin? Because this is well documented, there's no worse big game coach in college football than James Franklin. Now, the fact that USC has been losing, they're not, he's terrible against top 10 teams, like 3-18 or something. Does this USC game, it feels like this is one of those games. It feels like the big game test for James Franklin. That's why I'm nervous for Penn State. Even though USC is not ranked anymore, I
think you're catching USC maybe at a good time, right?
Yeah, but still, I feel like something about Penn State gets tight under Franklin. That's what I'm really watching for.
The head coach. All right, Manny, that's just a little of what we're looking forward to. Get a little taste, just a little preview. We also have Ole Miss-LSU this weekend. We've got Perloff's Colorado Buffaloes against Kansas State.
Oh, I'm on. They're my Colorado Buffaloes.
Technically, they're Kaplan's Buffaloes. He's the alum.
I am huge into Kansas State, too, and my guy, Avery Johnson. This is, I mean, every Colorado game is huge, right? I mean, we're back to that point where we're just going to overhype every game. That'll be fun. It's going to be funny, too. There's probably some random top 5 versus a unranked team that's going to be a huge upset again, the way the season's going.
More goalposts in the river.
Yeah.
Andrew Bogish is here for headlines. What's up, Bogues?
You
Guys,
suck, Bogish.
I want to begin where we finished the last update, those fines for Vandy and Arkansas for storming the field after their upsets last weekend. Shame on me for not knowing this. Huge thanks to Stewart, North Carolina, for pointing it out. Those fines, $100,000 for Vandy, $250K for the Razorbacks, go to the losing school. So Alabama and Tennessee basically get tipped for losing.
Yes. I forgot about that.
I thought they went to some kind of fund, like, the volleyball team needs something here. We can pass things out or whatever. No.
What's up with that?
You're paying Alabama. Thanks for letting me beat you.
Yeah.
Here's $100K.
They probably should go to the other sports. They're getting rid of all these Olympic sports are going by the wayside. There's not enough funding.
Oh, yeah.
Tennis teams and gymnastics and all the stuff that is getting underfunded. This would help. You think they could use $100,000?
Yeah, no. I was thinking that linebackers should go out there and suffer lifelong injuries to support the tennis team, and their rich parents don't have to pay for college.
They're already doing it. Yeah. I hate to tell you.
Well, the courts are not really looking upon that very graciously. They're doing it for now. We'll see about that. I think this is. College football is the biggest grift of all time. The Tennessee AD is making $2.75 million a year.
Wow.
It is the biggest joke. It makes me so mad every time. That's public money. Like, it is just it's a open, naked grift, which is apparently the thing in America now. And the fact that it goes to Alabama and Tennessee,
now it's
just sickening. And there's so many damn commercials in college football too. Give all that money to the players. Fire every administrator and start over and just give it all to the players.
How much do you think the Tennessee AD should make?
$400,000 a year.
Still pretty good living.
He makes $2.75 million, Maggie.
Oh, I mean, listen, these lake houses aren't going to buy.
Yeah, I know, right?
So.
In Knoxville,
your money probably goes. Well, your money, $2.5 million goes far everywhere.
It goes farther in Knoxville than here.
Well, I mean, but this is $22 for breakfast. We live in a place where if EJ orders fresh squeezed orange juice, Perloff can't pay his mortgage. It's that kind of calculus.
I can't even afford to buy a house to get a mortgage. I have to
your
rent. Yeah.
And EJ's adding extra pulp.
Yeah, if I had just
going to charge you 50 cents more.
If I just become a college administrator, oh man, I'd be on Easy Street by now.
I mean, you probably could have been. There's a sliding doors where you're a college administrator. Your wife works for the Department of Ed. You know people.
Well, it's way, way different. She works for New York City. She's not at one of these colleges. Don't get me started. That is one topic. College has gotten so expensive. Do you know why it's so expensive?
Why?
Because for every student, there are now 25 administrators pretending to do work in a back room. And by the way, don't even get me started on education because I will say some things that are not aligned with the politics of this room. So
no, let's get into it. Just kidding.
The floor is yours.
I mean, college football, you guys are with me. College football, the structure is a little bit greedy.
Oh, but every court case now is going towards, it looks like a lot of that, you're right, very unjust. It looks like some of the damage is going to be undone soon. You read headlines yesterday that there's going to be we're getting even closer to the players just getting paid by the schools.
Yeah, good luck. That I saw the headlines that House versus NCAA got preliminary approval.
Yep.
Guess what's not going to get full approval? That settlement has no chance of getting through the Supreme Court because basically the NCAA is a monopoly and it's still, in this new ruling, it's still a monopoly. It ain't going to work. I'm just telling you right now that this whole thing is going to be scrapped. Anyway, moving on to headlines.
No, I want to go back to you for a second because if Adrian Wojnarowski can sell St. Bonaventure men's basketball, you can't do something at Dartmouth and work your way up to AD and cash in those big Ivy League checks?
Good point, Pearl.
Look at the wheels turning right now.
I mean, I went to Dartmouth.
Yes.
Yeah. They have an AD, don't they?
Yeah, but I mean, like college administrators are more like state school people.
What?
Wait, hold on.
I mean, they're not like highly educated. It's not like they're like picking people out of Harvard Law to be like.
I'm sorry. This is beneath you.
Yeah, well beneath me.
It's beneath you to make $2.4 million.
Well, yeah, but he's just
I
like
love a job that's beneath me.
I mean, it's Cosmo. He's a glorified gym teacher, and he's making $2.75 million a year. It's not like he's like, they're not picking that's what I'm saying. Like, these jobs are administrative jobs.
Wait, but if it's so much beneath,
radio.
If it's so much beneath you, why don't you just take it? Just go in and knock their socks off.
Because that's not how you get those jobs.
How do you think? No, so you could. My connection is media, alma mater. There's
Adrian Wojnarowski is a general manager. He's not really an administrator. Like, he's actually going to evaluate talent.
And he's going to sell or find NIL. You could do that. You could go out there and shake hands and meet people.
Yeah, but those jobs are different. These are the jobs. Remember when you had to work out something on your college bill and you went into a long line? That's this job. Not like a GM of a Seton Hall or something. That'd be awesome. But those jobs are hard to get.
Yeah, but you get that job, then you can take the step up to the jobs that are below you and pay you $3 million a year. This is where I'm seeing your trajectory.
Yeah, you got to climb the corporate ladder, dude. You can't just it's not going to get handed to you. You got to play the game.
Why do you guys do it?
Got no connections with my alma mater whatsoever.
I went to a D3 school.
Yeah, my school had no football.
But you have basketball?
Yeah, have you seen him lately?
Whoa.
Adrian basketball?
Adrian Wojnarowski left ESPN for St. Bonaventure.
Yeah, well, I mean, he's got a little money in the bank.
They don't have football either.
That's true. They don't.
They barely have students.
Oh, they've got students.
That's a tiny, tiny school.
They
By the way, what about you, Bogus? You have a strong connection to Fordham.
My strongest connection just left.
Here's the thing, too. Fordham doesn't pay like Tennessee. Like, there's
not even like Tennessee Tech.
Cost of living.
Because I played club floor hockey at Fordham. Yeah, I did. We won freshman year.
Yeah, here's the thing. You got to get in the SEC, and that is a network that's hard to get into. Trust me, if I could be the AD at Ole Miss, I'd be gone. But there's no way I can do that.
I think you just said it's beneath you.
You did.
Yeah, some of these administrative jobs, they're not sexy jobs. Like, watch the HBO Real Sports special on how this whole game works. I don't know. I don't want to do that either. I would rather do this job and have an interesting, fun time than sort of glad hand donors all day. Why is he sweating so much?
I see a direct line here. You take the Dartmouth men's basketball GM job, then you graduate to Dartmouth AD, then you become UConn's AD, and then you become a Big Ten AD, and you're making $2 million.
In a million years, I could not get the Dartmouth men's GM job. In a million years.
Challenge accepted.
Why not?
Don't you have some good thoughts on new point forwards? How to scout New Hampshire?
I'm not sure you guys know how the college game works. I'm not sure. I
think you're taking us too seriously.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like, there's a big, like, giant machine going on out there that we should get into this NIL game. We should start a collective. There's a lot of money to be made, and it's not like it's not by scouting players. Like, there's a lot of like corporate money. There's a lot of private equity going.
Players?
I don't know. I'm just thinking, like, now you guys got the wheels turning. I'll admit it.
Can you fund me?
Wait, you want to fund or you want us to be funded?
No. I want to get into the NIL game.
Oh. I brought up the milk pouches and everyone backed away from the microphone. We could have had $1 million idea right there.
Selling the milk pouches?
Listen, there's a third party.
Like Dartmouth basketball brought to you by milk pouches?
Yeah.
By Maggie's milk pouches?
Maggie's
milk pouches from Binghamton?
Now that you say it that way, maybe that's a bad idea.
That's a weird jersey patch.
All right, back to the whiteboard. Bogus.
That blowout of the Cowboys, a distant memory now for the Saints. They haven't won since. 3 losses in a row, courtesy of last night's 26-13 stumble at Arrowhead. The Saints started with a Derek Carr pick and 2 3-and-outs while allowing 10 points. The QB says that can't happen.
We didn't execute early, and we fought back. We started playing better and all those kind of things. But against a team like this, you got to be on it from the get-go.
They did get as close as 16-13 in the fourth quarter. That's when Carr took a big hit and did not return. It's being called an oblique injury. He'll get an MRI. The Chiefs, meanwhile, 5-0 despite their long list of injuries, especially on offense. Andy Reid says it starts with his healthy starters believing in those new guys.
It has to start with that group there, and they just know that they trust the next guy is going to come in and do a good job. So it's more of a positive thinking than a negative thinking where you try to find all the warts. They're not doing that with these guys.
Kareem Hunt ran for 102 yards in a score in place of Isaiah Pacheco, and Juju Smith-Schuster caught 7 balls for 130 yards, his most since December of 2018, while helping replace Rashee Rice. He is having surgery today for his knee injury from 2 Sundays ago. Yesterday's update, not that helpful. We were told that Rice is still likely to miss the season with an LCL injury, but the Chiefs have some optimism for some reason that it's not that bad. So he's either gone or he's back in 3. I don't understand how he could be such a wide range of outcomes.
Well, I mean, I feel like we've all become kind of pseudo-experts on this because of EJ's unfortunate knee injury, where they don't know the extent until they get in there, like with the surgery.
Yeah, but I don't know how you could say, like, we think he's out for the year, but maybe he's not. Like that, like it's something terrible or not at all.
Is that not the Rashee Rice story?
I guess.
You think he might be gone, but he's back. Looks like he's facing something serious that maybe not that
Can't
serious.
quit him.
Talking about the reckless driving situation from before, we thought he'd definitely get a suspension, and that's not happening. So who knows with this guy?
The Royals. Sorry, EJ, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say when I got hurt, my doctor said he knew that was a torn patella tendon, but in terms of like ACL, like he said he didn't think so, but he didn't know until he got into the surgery. So I think there's more of these incidents than maybe we even realized. I would have assumed he would be able to figure that out, but he was like, I don't think there is, but I have to go in. And there could be something, or meniscus tear. He said those are things that you find out when you're in surgery.
The Royals beat the Yankees last night 4-2 in the Bronx after the Tigers down the Guardians 3-0. All of Detroit's runs coming on Kerry Carpenter's homer top 9. Both those series now tied at 1. The NL Series back on the field today. Mets-Phillies, 5:08 Eastern in New York, a 9:08 Eastern start in San Diego for the Padres and Dodgers. And an injury scare last night for the Memphis Grizzlies. John Morant turned his left ankle in a preseason game with the Mavericks. He got hurt in the second quarter, left the game for good in the third. Head coach Taylor Jenkins called the exit precautionary. Then Ja said, quote, "I'm good. It's the preseason." Guys, back to you.
I forgot about John Morant. He's back?
He's back, and don't they immediately become like a top 4 contender in the West?
Wait, hold on one second. Has he been healthy all summer?
Yeah, he's been healthy. Yeah, I mean, he's not had any, as far as you know, no setbacks with the shoulder.
Shoulder.
Yeah. So, I mean, and he was out there last night fine until hurting his ankle.
Well, the only reason I ask is about the Olympic team. Now, I get maybe he hasn't earned it in terms of like the off-the-field stuff, but would he not have been a candidate? He's one of the best American players we have. Okay.
I mean, he missed the whole rest of the NBA season. I don't know if you've been ready by late July, I guess, or whenever training camp started.
And maybe that's not the skill set they needed with the Derek White, whatever. Yeah. I don't know. Just thinking about it. Bogish, thank you very much. Coming up next, we'll check in on the Cowboys, and we'll do that. It's Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining.
Saleh Smith couldn't help it, he let it slip. Tobin took a hit, felt his nuts rip. Sprained his fucking nuts, twisted him tight, but came back in the game, ready to fight. He sprained his fucking nuts, his balls got rents, but still made the play no one would expect. Caught that pass in the wind like a stud, with his jewels throbbing, lying in the mud. The Chiefs are running again, down by some shit. Clock's ticking down, fans losing their wit. Mahomes in the huddle, grinning like a badass, ready to pull off another win, kicking ass. Another fucking close game, the Chiefs pull it out. Defense hanging on by the skin of their snout. But Mahomes and Kelsey dropping jaws on the grass, always fucking coming through, busting ass. The chicken runs wild like he's pissed at the ground. Chris Jones wrecks shit, throwing QBs around, but then they fall behind. Fans yelling, oh hell, just another Chiefs game, crazy as shit, can't you tell? Can't you tell? But away was Peter Bear, nowhere in sight. Missing work again like it's his goddamn right. Chiefs out here grinding, busting their balls, while Belotti's chilling, dodging work calls. Another fucking close game, the Chiefs find a way, and Peter Belotti's at home out for the day. Mahomes swings a pass, doing his job right, while Belotti's on his couch, avoiding daylight. Cut away to the Chiefs, they know shit from no one. Every fucking close call to get the job done. But where's Belotti? That ass didn't show. Chiefs win again and Pete's still a no-go. Checker runs wild like he's pissed at the ground. Chris Jones wrecks shit, throwing QBs around, but then they fall behind. Fans yelling, oh hell, just another Chiefs game, crazy as shit, can't you tell? But wait, where's Peter Bell like he's pissed at the ground? Chris Jones wrecks shit, throwing QBs around, but then they fall behind. Fans yelling, oh hell, just another Chiefs game, crazy as shit, can't you tell? No wait, but Checker runs wild like he's pissed at the ground. Chris Jones wrecks shit, throwing QBs around, but then they fall behind. Fans yelling, oh hell, just another Chiefs game, crazy as shit, can't you tell? Can't you tell? But wait, where's Peter Belotti? Nowhere in sight, missing work again like it's his goddamn right. Chiefs out here grinding, busting the balls, while Belotti's chilling, dodging work calls. But what a fucking close game, the Chiefs find a way, and Peter Belotti's at home, out for the day. Mahomes spins a pass, doing his job right, while Belotti's on his couch, avoiding daylight. How do they do it? No one knows the deal. Reed's got that playbook with a magic ass feel. Every game's a nail biter, down to the last breath. The Chiefs pull off wins while Pete's faking his death. Can't you tell? So here's to the Chiefs, taking no shit from no one. Every fucking close call, they get the job done. But where's the light? That ass didn't show. Chiefs win again,
30 seconds remaining.
No-go. Chiefs win again, and he's still a no-go. Chiefs win again, and he's still a no-go.
15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
That is our Cowboy Quickie music, Perloff. After the game, you'll recall the Cowboys beat the Steelers 20-17 on Sunday night after a long, lengthy rain and lightning delay. So after the game, we can't really play it because this. Oh, we have it? I wasn't sure if the sound was going to come in clear enough. Here's Jourdan Lewis, cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys, trash-talking Steelers wide receiver George Pickens. All right, he said Pittsburgh needs a receiver. George Pickens is weak, Pearl. George Pickens, 3 receptions on 7 targets for 26 yards, no TD.
Well, I think it is a combo factor here. Justin Fields is not throwing to his receivers. He holds on the ball too long, and it's not even on Justin Fields' fault. Arthur Smith never throws to his receivers, the offensive coordinator. Like, I understand Jourdan Lewis is talking big here, but I'm not sure that I put it all on George Pickens. I kind of put it on the system there. I mean, what receiver is going to thrive there? Even if they got Davante Adams, would they get him a bunch of targets? I kind of doubt it.
Well, 7 targets, though. I mean,
that's not a lot for number 1 receiver.
Well, but it's not nothing. I mean, you only are able to come through with 3 receptions on 7 targets. It's far more. The next was Van Jefferson with 5. We know Van Jefferson's not exactly lighting the world on fire. 9 different players were targeted, but definitely Pickens got the most targets.
Well, 7's a very small number for a number 1. I mean,
yeah, but if you have Justin Fields only attempted 27 passes,
right? That's my point. Yeah, they don't throw the ball. Seems like Jourdan Lewis is kind of picking on someone who's like already down. Let's see. I don't know who is. I'm looking at the Cowboys schedule. He's got Detroit next week. Let's see him keep up with if Jameson Williams gets a 101 or if Amon-Ra. I mean, honestly, picking on the Steelers receivers. Also, they're not rivals. They're different conferences.
Yeah, historic rivals maybe. All right, that's your Cowboy Quickie. Long before these guys were ever born.
Yeah. I mean, they just said they're not even going to see each other again. I did see this headline. I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. Trash talk. But I don't know. Does it really amount to anything here?
Well, I think the bigger question is, would this offense look any different with Russell Wilson? And again, you're not going to get the dirty yards that Justin Fields gets you, which is on 3rd and short, where he's running right into the line of scrimmage and he's picking up a first down or something like that. But does Russ make a little more of George Pickens? Because here's the thing about Jourdan Lewis saying George Pickens is weak. He didn't have a great impact.
So Wilson came out and threw for 400 yards.
Well, but we've talked about Russ and his ability to throw a deep ball,
He's got that nice, he does have that, but then again, did it happen at Denver? Not much.
That's our little secret.
Yeah.
I can't believe he's going to debut a new catchphrase. Like, you got to at least play a couple games before you do a catchphrase, right?
Broncos country, let's ride.
So
I think right now we're seeing, by the way, just a little update with Russell Wilson. The calf is still lingering, so I don't think this week is a possibility.
Yeah, so they have what do they have coming up? They have Detroit, then a bye. So that's really time for Russell to heal. And then at San Francisco.
Wait, you're talking about the Cowboys.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have the wrong team. Okay.
No.
So
next week is the Raiders for the Steelers.
I don't know.
Raiders, Jets, Giants.
So what do you think? Do you think it'll look better with Russ?
I do. Let me take it back. I don't know if it's going to look better. I think it's time to make the change. Because I think we've seen what it looks like with Fields, and that's just, whether it's the system or whether it's him, I mean, there's just it's going to be tough to go places, if you will, with that. I at least want to see what it looks like with Russ.
Would you throw him in a tough game, though, Russ? Do you want the right team to play against the Jets? Outstanding on defense. Maybe that's the wrong time to get Russ.
Well,
maybe then you do a little Fields run game.
So you're in Vegas next week. How about that?
I just saw you, because you mentioned that he wasn't practicing fully. That feels really, really quick.
Yeah, you're right about that. All right, so maybe not the Jets, so maybe the Giants. Although the Giants really got to Geno Smith last week.
I was about to say, let's keep going. Give me another.
You got the bye week, then you're at Washington.
I can live with that.
But then this starts your run of really tough games. We've always talked about the Steelers' schedule and how gangbusters it is on the back end. So at Washington, which is now not a gimme, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Kansas City, Cincinnati.
Oh, well.
Good luck.
Yeah, but I mean, Cleveland's not good. Cincinnati's 1-4. Those defenses have all struggled a little bit more than they usually do. I think this is a key question. And here's another question, just pulling back a little bit. If you're a Steelers fan, you'll be like, oh, great, we're going 10-7 again, right? Remember we talked about how they're not happy being in limbo, maybe getting the wild card game, right? They're like, what's even the goal here? Is there any Super Bowl hope? Even with Russ, I just don't see that happening.
Well, I think also the fan base is probably sick of the stat of not having a losing season, because to be honest,
it's not enough.
What does it matter at this point if you're not able to win playoff games? That's a stat for Mike Tomlin. It's a great stat. It's going to look good when he goes into the Hall of Fame and all of that. But what does it do for you now? It's a little bit like the Sixers, even with Joel Embiid. It's like, great, you're an MVP, can't get out of the second round. Bills can't get past the Chiefs. After a point, all of these accolades, Cowboys can win 12 games, can't get past the divisional round. At what point, what does it matter?
I think that's why you want to see Russ, right? Because there might be more of an upside, but I just don't even see that upside being there.
Coming up, we're going to take the temperature of some coaches on the hot seat. Not Mike Tomlin. We don't think.
He was a couple years. Remember last year there was a little talk of that.
I think
Not
he's
now.
off now. He's off now. But some other coaches, not so much. Get to that next. Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break.
sure he's ready for a fight. But where the fuck's Peter Pilati? That dude's late, not showing up for work, man. What's his fate? While Manny's dashing round, keeping everyone fed. Peter's at home, probably sleeping instead. Come on, Pilati, where the hell could you be? We need you in the studio. This shit's a spree. So busy me with this pizza planet flair, running in and out, living without a care. And to Peter Pilati with a sigh and a laugh, still missing from work. It's his legendary path. Sipping through the studio like he's living wild and free. Where the fuck's the action at? I got stories to tell. Just grabbing some snacks, bet him off like a bell. Man, he's in and out, what a fucking sight. Working that pizza shirt's ready for a fight. But where the fuck's Peter Pilati? That dude's late, not showing up for work, man. What's his fate? Yeah, you heard the shit, got the scoop of the day. Man, he's spilling tea, then he's back on his way. Grab me a slice, I'll be back in a flash. Living life like a whirlwind, making a splash. Man, he's in and out, what a fucking sight. Rocking that pizza shirt, he's ready for a fight. But where the fuck's Peter Pilati? That dude's late, not showing up for work, man. What's his fate? While Manny's dashing round, keeping everyone fed. Peter's at home, probably sleeping instead. Come on, Pilati, where the hell could you be? We need you in the studio. This shit's a spree. A spree. So busy me with this pizza planet flair, running in and out, living without a care. And to Peter Pilati.
One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Seconds remaining. Seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Maggie and Perloff on the Infinity Sports Network.
Chiefs win last night. Saints go back to New Orleans licking their wounds, especially Derek Carr, who got knocked out of the game. Perloff, we were treated to a little Jake Haener at the end of the game. You got twin Fresno State quarterbacks on the same roster. But the bottom line is Chiefs move on, 5-0. The offense still isn't amazing, but how they're able to just put one guy, like next man up is this cliche that happens in sports that people half believe that the Chiefs actually do. I mean, Juju Smith-Schuster was languishing with the Patriots, and now he's a 50-yard reception yesterday and being effective. Kareem Hunt, pardon me. I mean, a guy cast off, now looking rejuvenated and refreshed with the Kansas City Chiefs. Even Travis Kelce looked better last night. It's like the Chiefs are just inevitable. And then for the Saints, Are you still that in on Davante Adams if Derek Carr is dealing with an injury, or just if the Saints are maybe who we thought they were?
Yeah, I'm not as into Davante Adams. You know what I was thinking about? Isaiah Pacheco. Did we overrate Isaiah Pacheco? 7th round pick out of Rutgers. Great story. If Kareem Hunt can do the same thing, that to me says, okay, these running backs are not special. They're special in this system. And absolutely the same thing with Rashee Rice. Because Juju Smith-Schuster was washed in NFL terms, and he went for over 100 first time, and I can't remember when.
7 catches, 130 yards.
So I think, and I'm guilty as everyone, like we thought, oh my God, Rashee Rice is their whole offense. What are they going to do without him? We got that answer.
Yeah, it turns out win rather easily against the New Orleans Saints. It was a game in the third quarter where the Saints were able to get it down to 1 score, but then the Chiefs just scored on the ensuing drive and pushed it back to 10 points.
But because Tyrann Mathieu slipped on what I thought looked like a weird surface, by the way, Mahomes slipping around a lot too. That's, by the way, you talked about are the Chiefs in great position for a three-peat. Again, 5 games in. One thing the Chiefs have always had is good health, except for the 1 year they did not have good health. They lost Super Bowl to Tampa Bay. I'm not really ready to say, oh, this is fait accompli. The Chiefs are winning it all. Because the other thing, too, Maggie, they are playing a lot of close games. Even last night was surprisingly close. Like I was looking for the moment where I could turn it off and go to bed, and it came way later than I wanted it to.
It did, but then the Saints will do silly things like a bad penalty on Chris Olave when you're driving, or just other things like a Derek Carr, throwing it up and a receiver can't draw a defensive pass interference or something. Like just all these little mistakes.
Well, you say a bad penalty on Chris Olave. That means 90% of the NFL is doing bad penalties, because I think there's as many plays with illegal motion or illegal lineup as there are non-plays. Like they throw that flag 100 times a game now.
Yeah, this one
I'm not
is
going to
unique.
kill. You're going to kill Olave for that?
Well, this one's unique because I think he's done this a couple of times now where he runs, you're trying to see whether or not they're man or zone, whatever. He's running across the formation. And then instead of stopping and being dead stop, he's kind of bouncing on his toes up and down, waiting for Derek Carr to hike the ball. And that it's like his adrenaline, he can't stop.
Yeah.
It's silly.
I don't know. I feel like 5 years ago, the NFL let everybody do all that stuff. I feel like they're trying to really, really call a lot of illegal procedural calls. I'm not super into it. There was a defensive hold on a run play last night that proved significant. I've had enough flags, man.
We all have. But, okay. So
Saints, by the way, a lot. You're right, a lot of dumb penalties.
It's just silly.
But they're injured. I mean, that's the bottom line with them. They have serious issues. So unless their O-line miraculously gets healthy and good, there's no reason to bring Davante Adams. Carr's not going to have any time to throw to him, if Carr's even out there.
855-212-4227. Okay, so we want to play a little game. We're going to take the temperature of some coaches who may or may not be on the hot seat. We'll go quickly around the NFL. So, Perloff, the parameters are this. It's a 1 to 5 scale. 5 being center of the sun. 1 being, made in the shade.
Okay.
Got that? Yeah. All right, man, you can hit the music. I like this. It's intense. It's like the hot seat should be. All right, Pearl. Sean McDermott, my Buffalo Bills. How hot is his seat? Center of the sun? Or is he made in the shade?
I think it's a 2. Because, all right, the Bills win this game. They're 4-1 and number 3 in all NFL power rankings. That's the thing about these Bills. Like, as long as they're 11 wins, why would they get rid of Sean McDermott? I know you don't like that as a Bills fan. You have higher aspirations.
Yep.
I just feel like you don't fire a double-digit win coach. And I think somehow or other they're probably going to get there again this year.
I think Sean McDermott is hovering around a 3.75 on a scale of 1 to 5.
So you think he's out the door then?
I think 3.75 right now as we're sitting here today, because that was a game the Bills didn't have any business being in against the Texans. Texans are a better team. We're making mistakes to keep the Bills in it. Bills couldn't capitalize, and on top of that, made dumb moves. It's one thing if your players don't make plays. It's another thing when you do stupid things where you could have maybe stolen a win in overtime, but instead you don't even get that opportunity because you just misplayed the end of the game. You're not a rookie in this league. You've been coaching in big games forever. Why aren't you better at it? So to
wow,
me,
I mean, I give
3.75.
Do you give him any credit for actually, with no talent on defense, causing some trouble for C.J. Stroud?
You know what? I think that he gets credit for coaching up the defense with some backups, but at the same time, I think also Stroud and the offense just were a little disjointed. But no, the defensive line got home, but is that a little more Brandon Beane too? There actually are some guys on them on that defensive line.
Stroud was holding on to the ball while trying to make a play because the coverage actually wasn't bad. I don't know. I feel like you've been down on McDermott for a little bit now. 3.75 feels rich to me. Let's see. If they lose to the Jets, then I'll go 3.75. But if they win that game, then he's down to a 1.
The Bills make me wanna shout.
Manny, no time. Don't try to cheer me up. Okay, next coach on the hot seat, scale of 1 to 5. What about Robert Saleh, who the Bills will be playing the Jets on Monday night?
4.
That's hot.
Because it's actually not hot seat. Like, they're not going to fire him in season, but I've convinced myself the Jets, it's not going to work.
He's a bum.
Because Rodgers, it has nothing to do with coaching. It has nothing to do with talent. Rodgers' leg is just not the same. He's just not healthy, so it's not going to happen this year. I think Rodgers wants to play again next year and the year after that, but I'm not sure it's going to be with Saleh. If they don't make the playoffs this year, they have to move on. That's why I give him such a high grade.
If 5 is center of the sun, I think Saleh's at like a 4.75. I mean, it's so hot he's getting a tan.
I think he's a bum.
But you think mid-season?
No, probably not. Maybe because, first of all, who are you going to elevate? Hackett? We saw how that worked out in Denver. That's not going to work. Jeff Ulbrich, maybe.
Don't be a freaking weirdo.
But maybe you'd elevate the defensive coordinator. I just don't think Rodgers wants to be associated with any kind of dysfunction like that. Because no matter what, it's probably going to make it seem like he wanted Saleh out. And I don't know if Rodgers wants to be associated with that. But Saleh's not a good coach. It's not gotten it a lot better.
He's a good defensive coach.
And he will be a fine defensive coordinator from now to the end of time. But his head coaching watch is about to be over.
Yeah, it's so funny. I understand. Saleh got killed for Sunday, but I don't know. Healthy Rodgers, that game, the fact that Jets came back in that game, you're going to give him any credit for that? Because they should have gotten destroyed in that game.
Let's move on. Yeah, destroyed. I don't know about that.
I mean, they were down 17-0, and then they came back and basically were in position to win the game at the end. That was bizarre.
Well, I don't know. London games are weird, and I don't know what's going on with the Vikings right now with Sam Darnold. He didn't have a great game. He's a little banged up.
Well, I think the Jets' defense is why.
Jets' defense is good, but they've been good, and they have not. You would think with Rodgers, this would look a lot more complete.
He's not healthy. Yeah.
Okay, Mike McCarthy, Perloff. How hot is his seat, scale of 1 to 5?
I'm going to go 2.5 in the sense that, he might get fired at the end of the season, but there's nothing going on here now. There's no reason I don't think Mike McCarthy's part of the narrative in Dallas. I think it's the team building situation and the lack of being all in that is by far the overwhelming story. So when we say hot seat, it's not just that he might get fired in the end of the year. It's like, are people talking about Mike McCarthy being in trouble? Not really, because everyone's talking about the fact that Derrick Henry's not there and they're not trading for Devontae Adams and Micah Parsons is hurt and CeeDee Lamb is yelling at Dak Prescott. I don't think it's coming down on McCarthy right now.
Well, they leave Pittsburgh with a win. That was big. Because think about it. I mean, they fumbled the ball, the Cowboys did, on that final drive near the goal line. If they lose that game, are you saying that Mike Tomlin outcoached McCarthy? You know, do things get flipped a little bit in the sort of knee-jerk world that we live in? I'll agree with you. There's not a lot of heat on him right now. I'm going to put his seat at probably a 3.1 on a scale of 1 to 5. Just wait. They play the Lions next week, which is a game I like to call the scene of the crime. Because McCarthy last year tried everything in his power to blow that game, but Dan Campbell said, hold my beer. That was one of the worst coach games by two, in theory, good coaches that we've ever seen.
That's sad.
Yeah, we'll see if I think they're going to need to hold on for dear life not to get blown out in that game. They'd be lucky to be in a close game, especially if Parsons isn't there.
Okay, coaches on the hot seat, 1 to 5. Doug Pederson, Pearl. The Jags get their first win.
That's a 5. I mean, this is hard. Even Sunday in their first win, it's like, oh my God, are the Jags blowing it again? This is going bad. I'm sorry, Trevor Lawrence. It's time for another coach. There's no way this is. I like Doug Doug Pederson personally.
Won your team a Super Bowl.
But it seems like his message wears out. It's worn out in Jacksonville. They'll probably win some games. I think they're not a terrible team. They obviously have talent. I thought Trevor Lawrence took a major step forward and played great again last week, which was nice to see. There's no way this is working out for Doug Pederson.
Yeah, I'm going to put it at a 4.99 on the hot seat, 1 to 5, 5 being center of the sun. They leave for London. They leave for Europe now this week. This is the Jags double dip where they go play the Bears, and then they're playing New England. Back-to-back weeks. If you lose this game to New England, I don't think you're on the plane home. Or you're buying your own ticket home, is what I would guess.
Definitely. You could be right.
Yeah. So this could be one of those leave them in London. And then how quickly before the Belichick rumors start? Because whoever the first coach fired is, Belichick's going to be the biggest name out there.
Yeah, that certainly seems like a fit because at least Belichick would have a quarterback who's ready to go. And it does feel like the kind of things that Belichick used to do well, kind of attention to detail, could be used in Jacksonville.
You think? Okay, last one for you. We're doing coaches on the hot seat. Brian Daboll, Perloff, the Giants head coach, scale of 1 to 5. How hot's his seat?
I feel like a 1.3. Like, why? I don't know. Like, the Giants aren't really going anywhere, but again, is there heat on Daboll? I'm not hearing a lot of that. I'm in New York. Like, it's almost like, you have Daniel Jones. He's got a built-in excuse. And the fact that they won this week, that's pretty good to go to Seattle and win a game. It feels like they're not a poorly coached team. Maybe it feels like they just don't have talent.
Well, Daboll got some heat because they didn't have a backup kicker on the roster. They lost a game because they didn't have a kicker. A lot of people blamed him like, hey, you knew the real injury status with your kicker to not, first of all, to have him out there warming up in the way they did, to have him doing kickoffs the way that he did. Why would you injure this guy? And it ended up costing him the game against the Commanders. So I think his seat was hot, but Brian Daboll right now, I'm going to give a 2.8 out of 5.
I've seen
Big
a lot of
win over Seattle.
I've seen a lot of reporting that they're writing this season off and are committed to Daboll long term.
Yeah,
that they're going to get to pick the next quarterback.
I think that there's also the Belichick boogeyman looms for the Giants too. The Giants have been a revolving door of coaches. This is not the one stable franchise that people remember.
I kind of get the sense that they want to stop that revolving door, and I think that just based on offseason Hard Knocks, which is just a minor glimpse into what's actually happening in that building, feel like they like Brian Daboll. I just get that strong sense. And also, too, Brian Daboll is a pretty good coach. I think you could do a lot worse, like you did, Joe Judge.
Oh, my gosh. That was awful. Pat Shermer, we can go on and on.
I could do this for an hour.
Manny.
I mean, you're right. The only reason,
lived through it all.
If it wasn't Belichick, then I would say just keep Daboll.
Hey, you had a Belichick observation about last night.
Oh, yeah. Remember when I wrote that column that got a lot of attention about how Belichick, I'm not going to root for Belichick. I'm not going to watch him because he won't say anything because he wants another job.
Right.
So
you called Belichick a hypocrite for being so awful to the media all those years and now trying to be a part of the media.
Right. And I said he'd be completely boring because he's not going to sell out anybody on any team that he wants to be a part of. Apparently, America's had enough Belichick. Everyone said he was so boring during the Manning cast last night. He can't really say anything. He can say stuff about certain teams like Atlanta,
right? But
he's not going to say anything about New Orleans, which is another potential landing spot. He's obviously not going to say anything about Andy Reid in Kansas City. So I think Belichick better step up and make some headlines, or I think that people are going to get super bored and he'll be right back in coaching.
Yeah, I think you're right. He definitely has a vendetta against the Falcons, who brought him in and maybe embarrassed him a little bit when they decided not to go with him. They go with Raheem Morris. And
he's gone after the Patriots a couple times, too.
That's true, because obviously he's not going back there. But here's the, you know what I was thinking about your theory about, is Belichick going to get, is the novelty already worn off? Is he not going to say anything? Maybe he smells that Jags job or something. Like he smells a job, or maybe the first team contacted him just to get a little feel for what he's thinking about, and he can already taste it to get back into coaching.
Maybe. I think that he would probably wait till after the year. I don't think he'd take a midseason job. I'm not sure that's what you mean.
No, I'm saying even for the offseason, but just the idea. I bet someone did a team already put the feelers out, and he's like, all right, I'm going to have my pick.
Yeah, I watched, I didn't even know this was on. In the middle of the day yesterday, Peyton Manning and Bill Belichick sat and watched tape together of the Saints and the Chiefs. And you would think that'd be so cool, right? And it was. I mean, it was incredible. They explained what a Kubiak stretch play was. But it dawned on me, I'm like, God, America does not want to hear Bill Belichick do X's and O's. Like, I'm sorry, like, Nick Saban's awesome on game day. The Belichick media thing, is it fair to say it's not taking off? I don't think it is.
I thought he'd be better on the games. If he would be in the booth and do games, I'd rather hear Belichick in the moment. You know, I'd rather have him second-guessing coaches and what he would do because, you know, Brady has not been awesome at this, and maybe Belichick would be better.
I don't think Belichick has enough personality to be in the booth. I mean, John Madden was the ultimate color guy. Like, he's the opposite. You know, there's no, and then boom, from Bill Belichick. He's like, that's a really good A-gap block there.
Can I tell you another thing that I could be done with for Belichick? The girlfriend can stop posting the pictures.
And nobody likes that.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, your relationship is your relationship. That's fine. Whatever you do behind closed doors, Perloff, is what people do behind closed doors. And I don't hate love, and I'm not opposed to it. But I wouldn't post those photos.
Hey,
It looks like she's out enjoying a sunset with her grandfather.
Totally agree. It's not good. Hey, I have a question on this hot seat meter. I know we have to break. Yeah! The coaches we had were the Bills, the Jets, the Jags, we didn't get to the Eagles, Cowboys, Giants, and you could add the Saints in there. What's the one, if you had all those jobs in front of you, like where do you think Belichick's head is at? Where do you think he's leaning? Because you said the Jags. If all these guys are possibly on the hot seat, I don't know. I think you could upgrade from the Jags. I mean, Cowboys, Eagles, like these are big franchises, like a lot of talent on both those teams.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Do you want to pick your quarterback or do you want to go to a team that already has a good quarterback?
I think at 73, you need a quarterback. Okay. You can't start over.
So that's Buffalo, that's Jacksonville, that's Philadelphia, that's Dallas. Because if you go to the Giants, you're picking a QB.
Yeah. I think that maybe Buffalo. I mean, Buffalo, he's going to go to Buffalo? I haven't heard much about that.
I can't imagine. But that's also just because I watched him kick the Bills' butt for
That doesn't
years.
feel right, does it?
I don't know. 855-212-4227. Another defensive head coach. I doubt they'd do that. Usually you kind of flip-flop. One defensive head coach, then an offensive guy, then a defensive. It's like a breakup, you know? People are on the rebound.
Yeah, but Maggie, you're a Bills fan. You know people on the team. You'd take Belichick in a heartbeat. You've said that many times. You're on the record.
I wanted anybody.
Well, you wanted Harbaugh. You wanted
Jim Harbaugh more than anybody.
But you would have taken Belichick this year? No? No?
No, you made me drop my papers. I want anyone who's better in a big game than Sean McDermott. How about that?
All right.
Lots more to do as I pick up all the stuff that I just threw on the ground. It's Tuesday. Our rookie power rankings. Manny, we almost forgot. Okay, coming up next, our rookie power rankings. Who's at the top of the ladder? We'll do it next. Maggie Perloff.
All right, football season is heating up, and Prize Picks is the best place to get real money sports action while watching football. Took an L last night. Alvin Kamara did not get loose. He had one good run early, and I was excited.
Walking to the bathroom, what do I hear? Amazon Alexa playing sounds unclear. Smooth saxophone, no wait, that's no tune. Phono music pumping at high noon. Who started it? We don't have a clue. But I know one thing, it wasn't you know who. It wasn't Peter Bellotti. Let's be real, he's never at work, that's the deal. Andrew Boger, super suit on the case, searching for answers all over the place. He's checking the logs, asking around, but Peter's missing, nowhere to be found. Who started it? We don't have a clue. But I know one thing, it wasn't you know who. No, it wasn't Peter Bellotti, let's be real. He's never at work, that's the deal. Andrew Bogush, super sleuth on the case, searching for answers all over the place. He's checking the logs, asking around, but Peter's missing, nowhere to be found. Who started it? We don't have a clue. But it wasn't Bellotti, that's old news. No, he's never at work, still out the door, but that Alexa's playing tune. hardcore. Boglish's hunt goes on all day, but the boiled beats just won't fade away. One thing's for sure, no Peter in sight. Guess we'll have to blame someone else tonight. Alexa, turn it down. Boglish still can't figure it out around town.
Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. Two minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. Forty-five seconds remaining. Thirty seconds remaining. Fifteen seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Welcome back. Maggie and Perloff been breaking down the Saints' loss to the Chiefs yesterday. I'm sorry, I'm out on the Saints. I don't think they can turn this around because.
What was your first clip?
Well, I thought that was looking good because it was the pressure on Derek Carr, and Derek Carr is. Derek Carr has a clean pocket, he could be really good. But you just saw last night how many just heaved the ball in the air because he was about to get hammered, and eventually he hurt his oblique. So. I know that they went to Haener. I didn't even realize until you said earlier in the show, both Fresno State guys. That's pretty awesome. There's not a third Fresno State quarterback, right? Derek Carr's David Carr, but other than that,
and he's not suiting up.
So anyway, I'm not sure what the Saints do offensively.
Well, let's go to Wayne. He's in Alabama. He's got a thought for what the Saints should do at quarterback. Hey, Wayne.
How you doing, Maggie? Mr. Perloff?
Great, buddy.
My idea is I was listening and I heard that guy say something about the Rams and he wanted them to do a redo-over. How about bringing Matthew Stafford in to replace Derek Carr, and also bring in Bill Belichick to replace Dennis Allen? Because Belichick, he could have the same control as he did in New England, in New Orleans. Since Mr. Benson died, I don't even think the ownership knows what's going on anyway. What do you think, Maggie?
Well, that'd be something, Wayne. Matthew Stafford wouldn't last 5 seconds behind that offensive line, though. Derek Carr got beat up yesterday. I think Stafford would also be a sitting duck. I mean, it'd be an upgrade, no doubt, but he'd probably get hurt.
Yeah.
I'd be worried about him, Wayne.
I mentioned I was watching Belichick during the day yesterday. He went on this interesting little rant where he was talking about how the Saints keep on putting themselves in bad salary cap positions. He's like, they make it work, but they are limiting their future flexibility by the way they handle contracts. So now that you pointed out that he might already be looking at jobs, maybe he's already evaluated New Orleans and says, I don't really want to go there, because they're going to have trouble restocking talent-wise. They're overdue a rebuild. That defense is getting old. They're great right now, but they're getting old. So actually, I'm gonna check them off my list. I'm not going to have Belichick going there.
Well, if they have to rebuild, then he wants
that's what I'm saying.
Right?
And it's not, maybe that is a possible home for Stafford, but again, you never weighed in. Would you still be in on Davante Adams? I know you picked that team for him. If you were the Saints, would you want Davante Adams?
Yes, because I still think I can win the division. Now, if Carr's hurt, then this is going to be a lot harder. But if Carr's not hurt and it's just a bleak strain, but he's going to be back and everything's going to be fine, then yeah, I still think I can win the division. Sure. Let's put off the rookie power rankings for 1 second while Andrew Bogish is here with headlines. What's going on this morning?
We got headlines sponsored by Maggie's Milk Pouches.
Don't say it again.
Who doesn't love milk in a bag? Right now, use code PERLOFF for 25% off your first offer.
You realize I might get another sponsorship if you keep talking about that. It's going to be the doctor. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. In case you didn't notice, the Yankees lost last night 4-2 to the Royals, evening that ALDS at 1 game all. Aaron Judge just 1 hit, but 4 Ks through 2 games.
Well, if I'm not hitting 1,000, I'm not feeling good. So, I just got to keep getting on base for the guys behind me. If they get on, I got to drive them in.
Growing suspicion that Judge is just a regular season player. Meanwhile, teammate Jazz Chisholm slightly more confident in defeat.
Still feels the same that we're going to win it, I don't feel like anybody feels any different. We're going to go out there and do our thing still. We still don't feel like any team is better than us. We had a lot of missed opportunities tonight, so they just got lucky.
Glad that's settled.
Wait, Manny, can we check in with you? What was the thought? Jazz Chisholm hits a home run in the top of the 9th inning. Then they get the tying run aboard.
Great. What a tease. Great.
What was your level of belief, though, before Glaber lined out?
I mean, not much. I mean, when it comes to the Yankees and when they have these nights where, like last night, where they just can't get anything going, it's incredibly frustrating. And I've seen it time and time again with the Yankees. When they don't hit, they just straight up don't hit. And if Aaron isn't hitting, you can feel that affecting the rest of the lineup. They need Aaron Judge to get it together and become regular season Aaron Judge, because it's a little frustrating, but you know what? I still expect them to win in 4 games.
I mean, Giancarlo Stanton not being able to run.
Oh, brother, my 66-year-old mother can outbeat him in a race. Are you kidding me, bro? How do you weigh 280 pounds? You got all that muscle and you can't move
He can't even walk.
How many pounds does he weigh?
He's got to be pushing 270. You look at that guy. He's also. You ever seen that guy without a shirt on?
He can't be 270.
How
tall is
he?
Feet tall.
He's about 6'5", 6'6". He's a tall glass of milk.
He's massive.
Yeah, but he's not 280.
All right, so the internet says he's 6'6", 245.
Oh, 245. Well, I mean, you know what? He's still a thick dude.
He's
that can't run.
6'6".
He's enormous.
Stanton's massive.
You know what?
How tall is Judge?
Judge is. He's got him listed at 6'7".
I thought Judge was way taller than Stanton.
No, Judge is listed at 6'7", 6'8" on a good day.
Judge does look bigger.
Judge looks like a tight end who can also play the power forward.
He looks like he's not a human.
But you guys don't think
incredible.
Giancarlo Stanton looks like a massive
No,
dude?
but Judge looks, in comparison to other humans, Judge looks like more out of place than Stanton does.
Oh, like that famous photo with him and Jose Altuve?
Yes.
Well, yeah. Stanton's massive. And by the way, you are talking about Stanton without his shirt on. He was once in the swimsuit edition, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issue.
If I had a chest like Giancarlo Stanton, I would never wear a shirt.
Never.
Not at all.
Nope.
Which is funny in an office.
You'd
be out of place.
No, you get over it. I would look like Giancarlo Stanton. Are you kidding me?
And everyone would walk in and be like, hey, Manny.
Run the bases.
I've been thinking about you.
You lift today? No, not yet. Did you get your cardio in? Absolutely not.
The Tigers got a lucky 3-0 win in Cleveland in the afternoon, so both those AL series are tied at 1, as are the NL versions. The Dodgers and Padres spend their off day still talking smack. LA manager Dave Roberts not happy that Manny Machado threw a ball into the Dodger dugout during Game 2.
It's pretty disrespectful. So I don't know his intent. I don't want to speak for him, but I did see the video, and the ball was directed at me with something behind it. So, but I don't know what led to that. I didn't see it in real time, but I did see the video.
Machado's toss led to his second shouting match with Dodger starter Jack Flaherty. 2 nights ago, there was also the incident of fans throwing things at Padre outfielders. Game 3 of this series is 6:08 Pacific in San Diego. The Mets and Phillies play their Game 3 in New York at 5:08 Eastern. This is the first time since the division series began in '95 that all 4 are 1-1 after 2 games.
Can we get Machado Roberts like a Don Zimmer or Pedro?
Can I get a Manny home run? Stop throwing things. Hit a ball over the fence.
Well, that's only because we have a postseason home run draft.
Yeah.
And we're all losing badly to EJ.
Is EJ the only person with a home run?
I have 4.
Attaboy, EJ.
I don't think I have any.
Go.
I think I have 1.
I have 0.
Yeah, you have Harper has 1.
Yeah.
Pearl has 1.
Oh, great. Travis Kelce's Monday night included 9 catches, taking a direct snap and handing off for a touchdown, and an unscripted lateral after making a catch. Patrick Mahomes couldn't believe his tight end did that.
I'm shaking my head because I told him before the play, I said, I'm going to throw it to you so he can get in field goal range. And he underhand shoveled it across the entire field. So, I mean, it's like I'm talking to, like, Sterling. So it's like.
Sterling is one of his tiny kids.
Also, Kelsey's been doing this for
Yes.
a while.
Yeah.
He did it on a touchdown that went against Buffalo that got called back. He did it earlier this season, too, didn't he?
I don't remember that. But
I think you're right, Mac. And the funny thing is that running back knew exactly what was going on.
Yeah.
So they're all on board with Kelsey being a madman.
Why even call a play? Just get in the huddle and be like, spider too wide, whatever. You know what's happening. I'm throwing it to Kelsey.
It's unbelievable. The running back had just blocked a guy, too, like 2 seconds later, just pancaked somebody, then just happened to be there. It's, I don't know. Is that sustainable, these trick plays? I mean.
They run them every year.
Yeah.
The ring around the rosy.
It's unbelievable.
All that other nonsense.
They were in a good mood in KC because the Chiefs fought off the Saints 26-13 to reach 5-0. Mahomes threw for 331 yards, but no touchdowns. Kareem Hunt and Xavier Worthy scoring on the ground. Saints QB Derek Carr headed for an MRI in his oblique after taking a big hit in the fourth quarter last night. He did not return to the game. The latest lawsuit against Deshaun Watson has been settled. This one had arguably the most serious allegations of sexual assault against him. The agreement is confidential. The assumption is the woman has agreed not to speak with NFL investigators. The Miami Heat are naming the court at their arena after Pat Riley on opening night, the 23rd. And the NHL season begins today with a triple header, starting with the Kraken hosting the Blues at 1:30 Pacific. Guys, back. Manny's clapping for some reason.
Is that your team?
Hockey means we're one step closer to basketball season.
Interesting way to put it. Do you remember when a couple weeks ago when Arthur Blank got into the Falcons Ring of Honor?
Yes.
The owner.
Yeah.
It was like,
weird. How'd he get in?
yeah, that must have been a tough voting process for you to get in. Is the same thing happened with Pat Riley getting the court named after him? Who else is making decisions down there?
Well,
I think, you know what I want today? I want the court named after him.
Riley earned it way more than Arthur Blank.
Definitely.
I mean, Riley, yeah, geez, he's the best.
No, but I'm talking about the process. Like, does it's his call. So does he wake up one day and is like, you know what I'd like? I'd like the court named after
I
me.
think it's a way different dynamic than the owner.
Yeah, Mickey Harrison probably pushed that. You're not buying it?
I don't know. Arthur Blank and Pat Riley, not same.
So it's his 30th anniversary with the team. I could see them coming to him with, hey, what can we do something? And he suggested that specifically.
Name the court after me.
So it's like a 50-50 kind of thing.
I also think that there's nothing about Pat Riley, and I mean this as a compliment. There's nothing that he does that's not calculated, right? He's been in the game way too long. So he's got a thing with Jimmy Butler now, right? Where he's at the end of the season is like, Jimmy Butler's got to play. You can't be talking trash if you're on the bench in a playoff game and all of that. Is there something of the optics of Jimmy Butler is going to be playing on the floor that's signed by Pat Riley? Like, whose house do you think this is? As if they don't know. EJ, you can see it, right?
I see it. No. As soon as you started going down that path, I was like, I know where you're going.
Listen, Pat Riley's from Schenectady, New York. I know these people. These are my people.
The mean streets of right.
Manny, try to last 5 minutes out there, pal. I know these people. These are my people.
We grew up on milk pouches. We're tough.
What do you have, cartons? Like a little weenie? Like a little wuss? Cartons. We had pouches. We were struggling, you know? We had to earn everything, even cardboard.
Mean streets.
All we got is balloons, no cups, no cartons.
That plastic taste. That's what puts hair on your chest. Not your fancy cartons.
Can I ask a question?
Please.
What did those papers do to you, Maggie? You've been destroying them against the desk all morning long. Like they're your worst enemy.
These papers?
Yeah, it's definitely picking up. Like, what is on those papers?
Well, the rundown. A couple sound bites. Prize picks read.
Yeah.
Bad childhood memories.
A ransom note.
Some
personal affirmations.
Yeah, I'd love when you hear on radio, when you hear the paper turn. That's not what you're doing. But like, you're like, so when somebody's giving a take and then you hear, yeah. You're just.
No, I don't read these things. That's just
you're
on
hitting
the
those
top
things
of the
like
dome.
a hammer.
Would you like to take us to break?
Oh, okay. Well, no, it's Andrew. Are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
All right. Okay. Coming up next, we are going to do the rookie power rankings.
There you go.
Maggie and Perloff.
You're in a 5-minute break. Four minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Four minutes remaining. Three minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Three minutes remaining. 2 minutes, 30 seconds remaining. Two minutes remaining. One minute, 30 seconds remaining. One minute remaining. .45 seconds remaining. .30 seconds remaining. .15 seconds. Break ends in 5 seconds.
Which rookies are on the rise and whose stock took a tumble? Maggie and Perloff give their rookie power rankings.
Now, when we started this whole exercise, Pearl, welcome back to the show, by the way, Maggie Gray, Andrew Perloff. We started this because of all the quarterbacks. We thought it was just going to be the QBs kind of flip-flopping every week. It's not exactly worked out that way.
Although the QBs have all of a sudden played it a lot better.
They were better this week, but that has not really been the exercise so far the first 4 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
But anyway, top 5 rookie power rankings. Why don't you give us your 5?
Okay, number 5, it's Brocktober. Brock Bowers had a big 50-something yard touchdown, 8 catches, 97 yards. He's the only bright spot in Vegas, or one of the only bright spots in Vegas. He's 5. Number 4, I read this from, remember Mike Renner used to be Pro Football Focus's draft analyst? He said
on The Bachelor.
Yeah, great guy, really smart at the draft. He said Dominic Pooney, if they could redo the draft, the Niners guard would be a high first-round pick, or at least a first-round pick. He is 16th overall among guards in Pro Football Focus. He's playing great. Actually, the Niners are able to move the ball, and he is not folding under pressure. So I think, by the way, we discount the fact the Niners are a good drafting team. Number 3, Brian Thomas Jr., Jacksonville. Bet you have him there, too. He just became the leading rookie receiver, more yards than Marvin Harrison Jr. in the same amount of games, more yards now than Malik Neighbors, who is out this week. He's awesome. He probably should have gone higher, too. Number 2, Caleb Williams, figuring it out at Chicago, another win. And number 1, he's number 1 in my rookie rankings. He might be number 1 in my overall rankings. MVP possibility, MVP favorite. Jaden Daniels, number 1 on my rookie ranking.
All right. Well, you and I have a lot of the same people, but not all the same. Actually, kind of surprised. Number 5 on my list, I know they played the Panthers, but Caleb Williams. I know Caleb Williams had a fantastic day. Did you not have him?
I used to.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm putting him 5. And the reason why is because I think the Panthers are going to be the get-right game for everybody. So, yes, he looked a lot better, Caleb, but the competition, not amazing. So that's why he's 5 on the list and not higher for me. Number 4 on the list, that's where I put Brock Bowers. You talked about Brocktober. You talked about how he's the bright spot. I know that the Raiders lost, but Brock Bowers turns out to be a fantastic pick. Number 3 on my list, I'm surprised you didn't have this guy. Tyrone Tracy. Ever heard of him? Giants running back filling in for Devin Singletary. A big upset over the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle, Pearl. 129 yards on 18 carries. Do the math, 7.2 yards per carry. Not bad. Number 2 on my list, Brian Thomas. You were right. Leads the Jags in targets as a rookie. Big part of what they're going to do if they get this thing turned around. And then number 1 on my list, on your list, on everyone's list, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah, I love it. I almost had one defensive player, by the way. Packers, Edgerrin Cooper, who came in with a lot of hype, the Texas A&M linebacker, he almost killed Matthew Stafford. He's really good. I want to get defensive guys in here. It's hard because nobody was drafted this year on the defensive side of the ball. But that was my honorable mention was Edge Cooper, Green Bay. Did you have any defensive guys? Like, I know you were same as me. We look at this, we're like, we can't go all 5 offense, but that's kind of the way the NFL is this year.
Yeah, it just wasn't a draft that was known for defense.
It was historic. The first defensive player was Latu at 15. But maybe next week some defensive guys will get in there. I just don't want to be, I don't want us to be biased.
We're not. We're just calling it like we see it. That's your rookie power rankings for week 5. Okay, we've been, having a little fun at EJ's expense today. EJ's home. He's under the weather, but he is owed breakfast all week because he got the trivia question right of where did Kadar Hodge go to college, and he got it right off the gate, no Googling. So he wins breakfast for the week, and Perloff is paying for it. The first breakfast order of the week, $22. Seemed a little high. Bacon, egg, and cheese, and $6 fresh squeezed orange juice. We asked this, if someone buying you breakfast, can you order a $6 fresh squeezed orange juice? EJ, good news for you. The gap is closing. Now only 56% say no. 44% are with you and say yes. But we understand you also had an interesting thing happen this weekend at a wedding you were at in D.C.
Well, it wasn't so much at the wedding as much as it was after the wedding. So when you're in a situation where you're in a hotel, I have an important question to ask you guys because Miami's playing at 10:30 p.m., which means it's a late game. Now, typically, a game like that, I say, Andrea, my fiance, have a good night. I'm going into the living room to watch the game.
Right.
There was no living room in this hotel. So we end up having basically a 10:30 p.m. standoff the night after the wedding being like, are you going to watch the game? Yes. Are you going to watch it on this television? Yes. She does not sleep with the TV or with any sound normally.
Oof.
So I did stand my ground and did have the TV on, but I turned the sound down. That was the compromise that ended up happening. My question is, if you're in a hotel, do you have to just abide by whoever's sleeping rules are? Like, if they sleep a certain way, you got to just live with it? Or do you have, with me, not only a fan obligation, but a work obligation? Do you say, bump that, I'm watching the game?
Did you tell her about the rivalry?
The great cow, Miami. I did tell her it was Coke versus woke, which she said that sounds terrible, and I don't really approve of that. So that didn't help my cause. Bro.
Was there no sports bar? There's no viewing options downstairs.
No lobby.
No lobby.
I mean, I just had I have a bad knee. I had drunk people telling me to dance all night.
You want to lay in bed and watch the game.
Yeah, the idea of going somewhere else, a public place, to then watch, probably the only guy in the bar watching Miami football at 11 p.m., especially as that game got really bad, then turned gray at the end, didn't seem like the best option. So
I get it.
I don't know.
Let me ask you one more question.
I did a faux pas, but
what about streaming?
Yeah, bro, don't you have some AirPods or something that you could have popped in?
So Andrea said, can you watch that on an iPad? And I said, I do not want to.
Oh, EJ.
Wow.
All right.
This is
I wanted to watch it on television.
Now we got to it. Very consistent with fresh squeezed orange juice. No, an iPad's not good enough for EJ. He's got to watch on the big screen. Dude, that's so selfish.
What do you mean?
That game was on ESPN Plus. I would have given you my password if you don't have it. I know you have it.
No, I have ESPN Plus, but my thing, it's Miami football. Look, if this was Oregon or something, yeah, I probably wouldn't watch the game. I'd say, all right, I got to take this L. We're undefeated.
Watch it on your iPad, dude.
Oh, come on, man. Nice TV. It was fine. Like, I don't know.
But EJ,
I didn't think I made
the
such a bad
iPad,
football.
then you get to watch with the sound because you would have had your iPod, your headphones. You could have gotten the full experience as opposed to basically watching it on mute.
Then you
I'll
could
be honest, though. The mute wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. You know, Reese Davis, maybe I got this cold from Reese Davis. He didn't, like, sound that great. Like, he had a long day. I had a long day. Like, and I think I ended up watching the first half one with sound off, then I had to turn it down. Like, the second half, it was kind of wild to see that comeback happen with no sound on. It was kind of a weird experience.
And you watched it on a 32-inch TV in a hotel room.
It was a nice hotel, man. The Gaylord National in D.C. Maggie may know about that. It was a nice hotel. You know, and I didn't have a separate room. I didn't have a suite to go into. But I wanted to watch the game.
Wow. EJ, I think you had us all until the iPad would have been an option, but you want to watch on the fancy TV. And I think that's where you lost us. It's a great question, though. Does the person who wants to sleep, do they automatically get to call the shots for how the room's going to be?
I'm starting to
Great
see
question.
some disturbing patterns here. I got to be honest. It started with the fresh squeezed orange juice, and secondly, the iPad wasn't good enough.
Go ahead.
I don't know.
Spill the beans.
EJ's a snob.
Manny, help me out. No, I just feel like
I'm just trying to egg you on.
EJ wants things EJ's way, is what
Listen,
these stories tell me. Am I wrong about that?
EJ's a big fan of Burger King. He wants it his way.
We came to a compromise. I had the sound off. And
I don't know.
watched
She had to
the game on
sleep with the
TV.
lights on. That's not
She
ideal.
has an eye mask.
Oh,
That's what I was trying to
crucial.
tell her. I was like, you wear an eye mask, like you can't see anything.
So
Like,
wait, you were
with
at
sound.
a Gaylord hotel, right? Yeah, is
Yeah,
that what you
Gaylord,
said?
yeah.
There
Yeah,
had
DC,
to be
in the Harbor.
somewhere in that hotel a viewing option.
I know,
there's a
but EJ
bar.
said he didn't want to go down there because he's
Not
been on
just
his
a
feet all
bar,
night.
but it wasn't like you're going outside to a bar. It's in the hotel. It's downstairs. You can wear your pajamas.
Yeah, but I have a bad knee. I've been out all day. What do you mean? I was at a wedding with a torn patella tendon. I'd already done a lot. You know, the family is beautiful. It's Andrea's family friend. She knew them since she was literally an infant. So like, it was great seeing them renew their vows. It was amazing. Great experience. But I had a long day. Like, I pushed myself to get to that point.
It sounds like 2 hotel rooms next time you guys go on vacation.
Yeah.
I mean, might be. I don't
or
know.
if you were accompanying her, right?
By the way, can I just
So
one
maybe
more?
she owed you one.
One
is
more
what
thing.
I'm saying.
Yeah, that's true. But you said iPad, right? So you even had an iPad available. We're not even talking about watching on your phone. You get a full-size iPad, and that wasn't good enough to watch the Miami game?
Listen, with all these replays, and you know how important they are to Miami, you got to be able to see every blade of grass.
Yeah, you need a big screen.
Without
for the
replays,
controversy.
Miami would be sunk.
Right, you're right. For the last minute, you need the big screen.
There's no team in the country that needs replay more than Miami Hurricanes.
I think sitting on the couch with your iPad with earbuds sounds like a much more pleasant experience, but okay.
That's my chosen way.
Yeah, by the way, Maggie, you ever hear about how Maggie watches football on Sunday? She's got like 9 different devices. She's like, yeah, I was watching on my Walkman or something. Like, she's got 7 different digital devices showing various sports and games going on.
That's because I live in a Buffalo Wild Wings. Thank you, DJ Stewart, powering through despite not feeling well. We appreciate that. To Manny Rodriguez, thank you to Andrew Bogish, Andrew Kaplan, to Ty Dunne, who joined us earlier from Go Long, and the Weedos and the Coffee Drinkers.